Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
It's something
Making sure everything
fun.
is looking
it's
okay.
Very fun that happened. I think it's gonna be an interesting arc.
Okay, I don't need that. We've got quite a few things to look at today. There is one thing that I'm kind of hesitant to look at, but at least 3 of the things up on my tabs I want to look at. This week's it's undeniable proof that we've been living in the stupidest timeline for at least a couple of decades. Pretty much. Testing successfully passed. Thank you, Rhodey. Just waiting for once if Brett is there, once he chimes in, then we'll be truly ready. He's been very punctual for the past few weeks, and so I guess I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it's we will take a look at the Voidzilla video about it that was uploaded 22 hours ago, and it's already got over 2 million views, which naturally that would be the case. Let's see, disclaimer, updated May 2025. Voidzilla is an opinion-driven channel that comments on the news of the day under the satirical and rhetorically hyperbolic manner. Crime is illegal, or crime is legal, whatever the hell. Alright. Let's see, let me make sure that... Let me make sure that this is looking alright. I don't recall that happening. Okay. But yeah, before we actually... I kind of want to... I made mention, like, yesterday and a few days before that or something like... Actually, I might talk about it in a moment, but I want to make sure that everything is settled in. I'll make sure that everything is being recorded, but yeah, we have the Island Files, and then we have Shoe on Head's latest video. There's this one video that I'm kind of hesitant to look at, and then we have a new Religion for Breakfast video about what fantasy gets wrong about sacred groves. And the first frame of the video is Twilight Princess's Sacred Grove. And then maybe some miscellaneous video that we could just look at for fun. But those 3 videos are the ones that I want to look at, or at least are the ones that I want to prioritize for the time being. There's also one more thing that I will look at, but I might save that for the end, just to see whoever's still here. I might save it for another time, but let me just make sure. Alright. I need to work on... What was I gonna say? Hopefully I'm not too tired. Yeah, I had an interest... Well, actually, no, I didn't really... my day wasn't... Yeah. Crime confirmed to only be punished with a slap on the wrist if you have a lot of money, or if you stop being useful to powerful people. Pretty much. Yeah. Did you hear? Hasten Abai got banned for a week because he said, Zionist Hazir. Let's just say that. I don't remember what pig is in Hebrew. I do know the Arabic word for pig, but yeah. Haven't watched the video about grooves yet. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you mean by grooves. But some people are... But maybe I could move on just so we can move. I don't really have anything to talk about here in the quote-unquote intro of the stream. I'm just kind of like... I do want to warm myself up, but, you know, sometimes... Yeah, let's just go ahead and move on. I don't really have anything to talk about right now. Alright, here. We'll do this as a sort of warm-up. Since this is the title of the stream, I probably won't clip it into its own video, but some of the other stuff we'll look at will likely be their own video. Kind of depends. But the new island files are completely insane. No, Jackal mentioned them on the DDR stream last night, saying that there were 3.5 million files that were released, enough to be taller than the Chrysler building, which I don't know how tall the Chrysler building is. Let me look for that. It's in New York. Height. What is that? 1,046. I'm assuming that's inches. Oh, it's feet. Oh, damn. Groves? Oh, I thought you said grooves. I was like, no, when you accidentally spelled, or when the autocorrect said groves, I thought low-key you were thinking of in the groove, which would make sense knowing you being as partial to dance games as me. But okay, it's feet, which is 319 meters. So that's like, if I can remember how many miles are in or how many feet are in a mile, that's like a fifth of a mile, approximately. So apparently the amount of files that exist are taller than this building. Something like that. I don't know if Jackal is here, but, you know. But I do want to sit... Now, granted, I can't really comment on any of the legal jargon. We're just going to get a raw reaction and some just raw thoughts about it. Because I want to see... No, I'm sure plenty of people are curious about it. Because I'm pretty sure people like Asmongold and Moist Critical are going to be very, very interested in it. But let's go ahead and see what's going on here.
The FBI just dropped 3.5 million files, and it is incredible.
Incredible!
Huge bombshells about some of the most powerful people on the planet.
And we got I think that's Bill Gates down in the corner. Not that I'm going to give my 5 cents on them, but you know.
I can't believe they let some of this stuff out. I mean,
I could believe it, but then again,
it is stunning.
3 million documents. There were 4 employee co-conspirators that were not indicted, but named in MPA Exhibit 81 and referenced in the indictment of Jeffrey Epstein. You heard that it's just 50%. You heard that it's 50? So you're telling me there's 7 million files that exist. Good to know. But this indictment, the petitioner was not. No evidence reveals that there were 25 men with which the plaintiff lawyers reached secret settlements that could equally be considered as co-conspirators. And, yeah.
Honestly, one of the biggest lies we've seen is the idea that the FBI could possibly come to us and say, not only is there not a client list, there was no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Guys, we're about to see planned blackmail to one of the most powerful people on the planet, and that is Bill Gates.
Well, I figured that Bill Gates would be involved with this. I remember my dad specifically telling me and my siblings, we were having a casual discussion about something. I don't remember what the context was, but yeah, but Bill Gates was brought up, and my dad said, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of Bill Gates was an evil man that stole his company from under him. And I was like, oh, you mean just like Zuckerberg? And he was like, yes, just like Zuckerberg. So I can imagine Bill Gates being this evil. Let's be real.
Listen, there's a lot we're going to get to, but we have to start with probably the craziest revelation here.
And which one is this? Dear Bill. Okay, so which Bill is this? Because we have Clinton and Gates.
Which is Jeffrey Epstein emailing himself about Bill Gates. Now, if you don't know, Bill Gates and Epstein had a relationship post 2008. That's a big
after
year.
2008, they had a relationship. You could probably put two and two together as to what kind of relationship that they might have had. I mean, I'm sure we could ask the same thing about the other Bill that's in these files.
A lot today, because 2008 was the time that Epstein pled guilty for soliciting of somebody under the age of 18. He was a predator at this point. Everybody knew it. Now, eventually...
Yeah, you've been reading on the whole topic for 2 days, and the Bill Gates part is wild. Well, we're just getting started. And I don't think... This is like 15 minutes and 54 seconds. I don't think that's enough time to do... we might... low key, I kind of want to search these files for myself, and we can just do a deep dive and do like some dramatic readings, if anything. I mean, if last night's playthrough of Tales Noir is anything to go by, I've been told that I do pretty good impressions. Granted, I don't really know what half of these people sound like, so...
Bill Gates would get divorced when all of this came out. Melinda Gates said it was...
Yeah, Melinda Gates says Bill Gates' work with abhorrent Epstein led to divorce. The whole thing in the files has been comboed, and these days... That's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure it is.
The direct cause for the divorce. She said she met Epstein and said he was evil.
He was evil personified.
You have to
No
understand,
kidding.
this is like Bill Gates' kryptonite. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He's got this huge philanthropy arm. But this relationship...
All I know about Bill Gates, besides being the quote-unquote founder of Microsoft, is he has a very peculiar South Park persona.
...with Epstein has been a
with a very creepy, soulless smile.
huge problem for him. And Epstein appears to have known that because in 2013, Bill Gates appears to be distancing himself from Jeffrey Epstein. And Epstein seems to have a problem with that. He's...
Oh, okay, I see. So it's like, so, you don't want anything to do with me. You do realize that I have all this bullshit on you, so don't even try to do that. And something that I've been doing on my streams recently is that I'll be reading aloud something like this, but then the guy that we're watching does it anyway, and it's like, well, I just did all that reading for nothing.
Says, I assume the dedication to our relation went
there he's
both
reading.
ways. Larry has now asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement. Basically,
Use the Gmail repository. Oh, that's right. I remember that existing, but
he's got to shut up about his relationship with Bill Gates. And this is where the blackmail starts. And it comes
okay.
to
Oh yeah, and they said that there was no blackmail operation. Well, basically the play-by-play, for those that don't know, they said that they were going to release the files. And they kept on hyping it up, saying that the files are on my desk. And then they said, oh, there are no files, so there's nothing to worry about, because are we still talking to boot that guy? And then they say, okay, there are files, but there's really nothing to them. And then they said, okay, there is something to them, but once again, it's still not a big deal. And it said, okay, here are the files, and it's just a bunch of pages of of just nothing but blacked out text. And then now this.
form of like, if I were you, I would do X if I were the type of guy that you should be. He says, in that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you had your heart set on. In addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract we agreed upon, 30 to 40% of an $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's terms. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. Then he
So this is some sort of house deal.
lays out what he has on Bill Gates, or what he
Okay, so yeah, it was blackmail.
says he has. Quote, to add insult to injury, you subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implore me to delete the emails I had regarding your STD.
Oh. I'm guessing it's either STD is short for something completely unrelated to diseases, or it refers to diseases.
Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you could
Oh wait, I just read this third line.
surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your I mean,
Okay, now that's just that's just nasty.
this is insane. It's completely insane. It's like basically laying out in text form, I would give me millions of dollars.
So if Bill Gates was to just tiptoe away from the island man, he was going to threaten his wife with pictures of his dick, because apparently he had diseases. The whole thing has been running on all blackmailing, and everyone in bed was with everyone.
And
Yes.
I can't believe you're asking me
I read that wrong, but I don't care.
to delete the message where you were going to give STD medication to your wife without her knowledge. I mean, it's complete. It's crazy. It's just completely obvious what he's doing here. It's just a nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Nudge,
Here's
nudge,
what
wink,
you should
wink.
do. But now that coming out
Yeah, this model can't wink properly because of the way it's set up.
after Epstein's death, this looks really bad for Gates, obviously, because you usually wouldn't blackmail somebody for something that's completely false or fake. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he did that.
Imagine giving your wife secretly some antibiotics.
But we
Yeah.
also know Bill Gates had affairs. Obviously, Melinda
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in power have affairs.
credits it for their divorce. So it's hard to believe there was nothing sketchy going on. Bill Gates, of course, maintains that it was completely above board. He says the fact this allegation was in here just shows how much Epstein was willing to defame people, but Epstein lays it out. He says he helped Bill get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russian girls.
Russian girls,
facilitating
huh?
his illicit trysts with married women.
What the hell is a tryst?
And to
What's up? Epsloptine. Bill Gates has diseases in his nether regions and was threatening to the island man was threatening to blackmail Bill Gates to his wife for trying to get away from him. I don't know if that made sense, but make it make sense.
being asked
I guess that's the best way to do this.
Tournaments. Look, guys,
Adderall.
this is exactly what we suspected the whole
Yes, the Bill Gates STD thing.
time. Epstein was providing.
I tried to avoid saying that because I don't know how YouTube censors feel about that. Granted, I'm not exactly monetized, so I probably shouldn't worry about it. But, you know, the algorithm is a bitch.
Services to rich people and expecting payment via blackmail. Now you might say, and it's true, that we don't know that Epstein ultimately sent that version of an email to Gates. All we know is he sent that to himself. He may have planned the blackmail and just been drafting something. But what we do know are two things. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Gates was threatened by Epstein over an affair. We also know that after this blackmail email Jeffrey sent to himself was written, eventually Gates sent a $2 million donation to MIT directed by Jeffrey Epstein, which is a bit weird if you had distanced yourself from the guy.
To quote Rachel Ziegler, weird, basically.
And y'all had this big falling out. Now again,
Yeah, and people think of Thump and Musk as the bromance of the century. I don't know, Gates and Epstein might be a bigger bromance in this case.
do we know for sure that Bill Gates did all of that? No, of course we don't. But do I think Bill Gates was innocently looking for charity advice from a after he already pled guilty? No.
Probably
I don't.
not.
I'm sorry.
Dude,
I'm not that gullible. And speaking of not that gullible, we've been lying.
it's funny that he got an infection on their PCs have been getting no kidding, yeah. I'm sure Wolfie would wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment.
To also by another richest guy on the planet. Geez, it's a shock why they don't want to put this out.
Which
Elon
one?
Musk,
Musklon Elon Musk as his Chinese counterpart.
who has been saying for years that it is a lie.
This is a minor bromance. Did you use that particular word on purpose?
That he went to Epstein's island. In fact, he says he refused to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, shame on Sky News for the utterly misleading headline. I can never remember what Elon's accent is. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to his island and I refused. Yet they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. Imagine going to get, young services and end up with diseases. Like, surely an operation, like the billionaires and all that. Check their merch, yes.
Elon, he says Epstein tried to get me to go to his island. I refused. He says anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Later responding to another headline which said Elon Musk planned trip to Epstein's private island, and he said
This is false.
this is false. But of course, we start to dig through the files.
Okay,
And we can see on Epstein's calendar that Elon Musk is booked in December 6th,
Is this still happening? So it's booked, but we don't know if it's happening.
2014. But maybe you don't believe that. That's just the word of Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
But maybe you'll believe the word of Elon Musk, who was caught
Oh, well then, how the tables have turned.
emailing Jeffrey Epstein to go to his...
I will send heli for you. Sorry for all the typos. Sent from my iPhone. No, whenever I have to send an email from my iPhone, I always remove the sent from my iPhone because it's kind of unnecessary.
island.
I mean, it's a bit more work to do, but I don't really care. I don't like seeing it there. That would be like a kingpin serving flour and sugar-laced whack to his buddies. Instead of the premium. Moon and Epstein. That's so far the wildest link. Yep.
Post the guilty plea. Elon Musk writes, "Will be in BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Good time to visit." Jeffrey Epstein says, "I will send a heli for you." Later, Elon Musk writes to Epstein, probably just to Lula and me, his ex-wife, what day and night would be the wildest party on your island.
Oh, I didn't realize we were getting Diddy on this as well.
The world's
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if P. Diddy was on this island too.
richest man is asking the most vile man for the wildest party on his island. And then it gets more explicit. In 2012, remember, this is the guy who said, I refused it, I could never do that, right? It's false. But here in 2012, he says, do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of my sanity this year. I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation.
I mean, I can understand wanting to just let loose after a hard whatever, but I don't know. This just seems very, yeah, where is George Washington? Or Lincoln and Eisenhower? Well, I'm sure you're aware of the Rick and Morty Lincoln Slave Museum. He didn't free them all. Or what was it? No, in Family Guy, the episode where Peter buys Lois's grandmother's mansion, and he tried to sell it, and he found out that it was the presidential whorehouse.
Is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. Guys, he can't even play the I went to go study math excuse, which is what all these guys do. They say, hey,
do they all do that? I don't recall there being mathematicians besides maybe Stephen Hawking. I was drawing a blank on his name because I know that he was there, and I remember seeing a whole bunch of memes about it. I'm doing pretty well, especially and for some reason I have a better time commenting on videos on Saturdays. Saturdays than Wednesdays. I don't know what it is. I might have to really, I don't know.
Just went to go talk to scientists.
Yes.
Elon's like, hey, I don't want to do that. I'm looking for a party. That's
party,
what
throw
I'm
your hands
here
up.
To do. And then Jeffrey Epstein writes, understood, I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make your ex-wife uncomfortable. I can't believe these guys are lying to us, and people are swallowing it still, thinking that Elon Musk had nothing to do with this guy.
Yeah, and here we are. There's Musk, like what, saying that 100 emoji, the red one, to like tweets by Asmongold against Hasten Abai.
So again, that's 2012. That's 2014. But guess what? There's another time
more
in 2013. I mean, this seems like a yearly
but that's not
thing
all.
With the boys. Here, once again, Elon Musk writes, we'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Again, is there a good time to visit? Jeffrey Epstein, any day, 1st of the 8th.
Play it by ear if you want.
Always space for
Always
you.
space for you.
They then plan some more, and you might think, well, if Elon ever told the truth, this is when he has to reject, right? Because he said, I refused. But actually, it appears to be one of those cases where, like, your friend says, like, oh, bro, I dumped her. And actually, it was the other way. Yeah, it turns out Elon didn't dump the
Bad news.
Elon. He says,
oh, okay. So the tables have turned in this case. And
bad news. Unfortunately, my schedule will keep me in New York. Hopefully, we can schedule another time in the future. Jeffrey Epstein let Elon down. That's actually the real story. Is the reason he didn't go in 2013.
Oh, I see what he was making with that boyfriend-girlfriend breakup analogy.
Was because he couldn't go. Jeffrey Epstein was not there. Guys,
well, at least Brett's upping those numbers.
How blatant do they have to make it before we start to just see through it, right? When they issue these ridiculous denials, they're totally associated with the guy after the guilty plea.
Yep.
They lie through their teeth, but they can't even keep their story straight. I mean, that's what's crazy. They're not even competent at this. They get caught in their own lies all the time. Remember, the FBI's official story was
there was no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals.
He even had these files. Howard Lutnick was on the record calling Jeffrey Epstein the greatest blackmailer ever.
So how come Bill Gates
you trained hard,
and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
They probably did all of the above.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage, And what happened in
Get a massage, and I wonder who was administering that massage.
Massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Interesting. Okay, so Howard has a different perspective. Now, if you don't know, that guy, do you think he's just telling the truth there? Even this guy who's contradicting the official narrative, this guy literally lived next to Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so this guy was a silent witness? Has he ever actually come out and say anything?
This guy was like, I'm gonna tell the truth. Those guys participated. That guy lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, he lied too. I love this video
sure
we're
he
about
did.
to get into because this guy, Mr. He's the greatest blackmailer ever, does he know something we don't know? Because it's interesting, Mr. I'm his neighbor had to also explain how he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And he lays it out pretty simply. He goes, yep, I live next to him, but in 2005, I had such a horrible experience that I knew I could never talk to him again.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
We move in 2005. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, knock on the door. His assistant, on like a Saturday, says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. And there's a massage table in the middle of the room. Massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day.
Every day.
And then he like gets like weirdly close to
Every day. Have you ever seen that one Meat Canyon Willy Wonka video? Towards the end, he takes off his shirt and tells Charlie to massage him. I bet you that's what inspired it.
me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
The right kind of
Now,
massage.
my wife
Ew.
is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go.
Sumimasen.
And we left. And
Sounds about the right thing to do in that case. You know, if I came across a friend of mine or someone else that had something like that, I'll be like, I don't think this place is for me.
in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his
I mean, a
house
pool table, sure, maybe, but I don't know about that.
to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person.
And Voidzilla's waving his finger. I'm sorry that I'm in the way. Kind of admire and respected Stephen Hawking, but after what has been revealed, you don't doubt that he sold him a lot of sildenafil and a group of masseuses.
Ever again.
Well, he couldn't be more clear, could he, right? He says, hey, I may have been his next door neighbor,
But
I
he ain't see shit, though.
met him once before the 2008 guilty plea. Remember I said that was a big deal? And we got invited over, and it was like 5 seconds, and we left, and we realized he was a creep. We were out of there. He made this rude, lewd comment in front of my wife.
And let me guess, there's more to it that he's not telling us.
I would never go see this guy. I mean, he makes it super clear he's gross.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy.
I'm sorry,
That guy was
he's...
there.
No, not this.
Because he's...
Yeah, he's like right down there in the
These other
corner.
guys, they may have participated,
They participated.
but Howard Lutnick.
Okay,
he
here,
could
let me
never.
just leave it here for now
he's
until
too good of a guy.
there.
Well, guess what we found in the old email?
Oh no, so subject Lutnick. Hey Allison, great to hear you were headed over. I'm actually not on the island. I just spoke to, and he will be sending you an email with more instruction. I think they need to know what kind of boat you are on so they can instruct you properly. Thanks, have a great day, blank. Lutnick Allison wrote, Hi, we are heading toward you from St. Thomas. Where should we anchor exactly? What is your phone number?
Else. Looky, looky. It's Howard Lutnick writing in to Jeffy Boy in 2012.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff. We're landing in St. Thomas early afternoon, planning to head over. Where are you located? What's the exact
Turns out the politicians are not the only ones that are always lying. Yep, even the neighbors can't be trusted.
location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? Is this the guy you said made a lewd comment to your wife and, oh, I could never be in front of him? He's gross.
He's gross. He's kimoi.
Guess what the next email is?
Uh-oh. Hi, Allison. Great to hear... Oh, wait, this is the one that we read.
My boy's wife messaging in. Saying we're
Okay,
headed toward
even the wife was all like...
you in St.
The
Thomas.
wife was in on
later.
it. Good morning, Howard. Jeffrey pushed me to pass along
The subject
below.
line, Jeffrey
Nice
Epstein, good
seeing
morning,
you.
Howard. Jeffrey wished me to pass you along. Nice seeing you. They clearly met, and the guy is just lying about it to your face, to the American public's face, and they tried to hide it from us. I cannot emphasize this
No, I didn't realize that it was going to be this big.
enough. They're lying.
I mean, I never really knew the full story and the context to begin with, but I have been keeping up with it for at least a handful of moments.
Through their teeth. You think this guy perfectly remembers a 2005, like, walking in the guy's house?
I don't even perfectly remember everything that happened yesterday, so let alone that many years ago.
I remember exactly what I said to him. My wife and I looked at each other, and he wouldn't remember the 2012. I boated over to his private island for a dinner. Is that what we're really thinking? Is that what we're expected to believe? This is a momentary lapse in his judgment. No, these guys don't even care about being consistent, and they're all throwing each other under the bus.
Yeah, he's in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they haven't made public. Have a nice day, Ronald Thump.
Remember Elon Musk saying the time to drop the really big bomb? Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they haven't been made public. My guy, you also are in the Epstein files.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I swear, this reminds me of something. What? I think it might be reminding me of like the Hassan orbit, how they're always implicating each other, or, well, not necessarily that. They're all kind of in cahoots with each other, but they're also like, sometimes they have a habit of throwing each other under the bus. I know that Casey Tron mentioned how she didn't get any monetary support from Hassan with her lawsuit with Ethan Klein, so it's not surprising that even within the higher echelons of society, bad guys are constantly betraying each other.
Very clearly doing stuff you lied about, okay? So is Howard Lutnick, who says, yeah, Bill Gates, he's probably getting blackmailed because he participated. What did you do on the island over in 2012, Howard?
You know, he probably didn't even do anything, but he was a silent witness and decided to keep it all quiet.
We know that? I mean, does anyone care? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is some of the most explosive stuff.
Okay. Reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral on Thump approximately 35 years ago in, I think that's New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 when this occurred, and that the friend allegedly bit him while performing it. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting him. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. If you thought that the island man was all sausage party, turns out there are plenty of high society women. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. If we're going to talk about equal rights for both sexes, then we got to implicate the bitches too.
It's also, again, I have to say, unverified, okay? This is the...
Okay, those are unverified. Well, they're verified because I said so, except I said that as a joke, so legally you can't hold me accountable.
TOC, the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, and the challenge with confirming some of this is that these are anonymous tips, or they black them out at least.
I have an anonymous tip for Nancy Hicks Scribble because you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. Dale, is that you?
So we don't know who they are, and anyone can drop a tip. Now that doesn't
Can I drop a tip? I'll give you like 10 cents to promote my video.
mean that you should disregard them. It just means we can't verify them. The other challenge is that the FBI has a heavy incentive to discredit anything with Donald Trump in it, just because he's in the White House right now, obviously. And so I want to be clear, there are notes related to some of these submissions where they say things
Complaint was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate redacteds.
like complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate redacted. You know, it's hard to tell how much this is the proper due diligence of the FBI, which they should be doing, of course, and not all complaints are credible. But also there's this obvious conflict of interest with the fact that the sitting president is in some of these complaints. But
Right.
here they are for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Complaint summary.
Yeah, we just read this and we don't need to reread it again.
Allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump.
Reported she has a friend, redacted, who was a personal assistant in Florida from those years until those. This friend shared names of some of the guests at the parties, including Bill Clinton and Ronald Thump, but casually informed by multiple sources of multiple incidents. Well, the thing is, Rhodey, maybe there were several isolated incidents, but now it's incidents because Dale would never cheat on Nancy.
The friend also said she was abused by Epstein. Later, there's very explosive claims about big parties with her, other younger girls, and
older Victoria's Secret models. Okay, so Victoria's Secret was also involved.
Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. There's claims third hand about a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book citing.
Okay, so they wanted to get a book published, but what are you going to do for me if you want me to publish it?
Lee Wexner, Epstein, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. And it goes on like this for a while. Some of the complaints are just
like, I could read all of these, but I don't know.
Very graphic, and obviously I'm going to censor out some of it.
Yeah.
But I should also mention the DOJ.
Yes, this production may include fake or falsely submitted images.
DOJ claims that some of these claims were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had any shred of credibility, they would have certainly been weaponized.
No, that's the thing. I mean, people want to say that go back. Did you want to read this, or did you want to read one of these? Yeah, here. The complaint made a podcast of her story about her encounter with Ghislaine Maxwell when she was approximately 14 to 15. Yeah, note that Cartel de Sinaloa's land. Oh, hold on. Here, let me see if I can. I don't really remember who Cartel de Sinaloa is. Is it one of these that are highlighted, or trying to speed read through these? Unless it's somewhere in here. The anti-drugs president partying with drug lords. Oh, okay, I see. You actually make a pretty good point. No, I was trying to say something, but I don't remember what it was that I was trying to say. Maybe if I go back forward. Oh, that's right. I was going to mention that if the right column. Oh, I see it right there. Complaint claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Well, I can imagine that a cartel wouldn't be involved with that. Okay, I didn't notice that. But the thing is, the point that I was going to mention is that I'm sure even the Democrat, the point I was going to mention is that if they really wanted, the Democratic Party had the power to implicate the president if he truly did, like, a bunch of not so great things within the files and stuff, but they would have used that already, and the election would have been over and done with Kamala, but they didn't really have anything on him. Granted, I don't know the full context or whatever he may have done, and I'm pretty sure I put that all in. I'm pretty sure I didn't say all of that stuff correctly because because I may or I may not have a speech impediment. I'll have to figure that out on my own.
20 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had any shred of credibility, they would have certainly been.
Yes. That's what I meant. Yeah, if he really was implicated, the Democrats would have used that against him in the election.
Against President Trump already. Now, I agree that if a complaint is timed right before an election, there definitely could be some other motivations to that. But it's also ridiculous to say that anything in the Epstein files, if it were true, would have come out already. Because why didn't we see the stuff about Bill Gates, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff apparently has been sitting in here for a long time. And not only did no one talk about it, the FBI literally, covered for it. I mean, they said that this was not the case. There are big claims against a lot of powerful people. Nobody in that file really wants to rock the boat or release the files because then they get in trouble and their buddies get in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem. So I don't really buy the idea that, oh, if it were true, it would have already gotten out. I don't buy that. That's why
the Democrats could use it to destroy their opponents, but yeah, they wouldn't want that for Obeezy and Sleepy Joe. Because Biden don't cause the recession, and so we don't took my gerb.
That's why it's important these files are out. But this is just a look at a small fraction of the files. And over the next few weeks, we're going to go through all of the major findings we can from this 3.5 million page document dump. But seriously, think about how discrediting this has been, not only to this administration, but to so many rich and powerful people who have lied through their teeth happily.
No, I need to know however many people are actually implicated. If there's use enough files to match the tallest skyscrapers.
Towards you in order to hide their relationship with this man that many of them held post guilty plea. And some of them, now we know, Epstein prepared blackmail for them and, according to reports, threatened.
Oh, and that's it. Oh, okay. Well, that's that. Let me go back, because I unfortunately had that on autoplay. I wonder, does he have... Okay, he doesn't have any legs. I mean, we could look at some of them at, like, some point, but neither Obama nor Joe are in the files, but the Clintons are. Okay, so neither of them have any dirt. I mean, I'm sure some of them may have had something, like, I guess maybe behind the scenes, but nothing that's as, but maybe nothing as, like, who knows. But yeah, I might, who knows, if that J-mail thing, we might look at that. It depends on the time, how much time I have, and how much patience I have, and how brave I am if I actually want to look at that stuff, because I don't really want anything. If I disappear in the next whoever knows how long, call the police. For reference, this is a joke. I don't want anyone coming after me, which I highly doubt anyone's gonna come after me, at least on the 50. All right, I'll think about it. It depends on how I'm feeling tonight. But here, that's just a preliminary follow-up on the files situation. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But I think, yeah, the next thing that I want to look at, which is tangentially related to the files, is the Kami Mommy's latest video on whether or not America is okay. America, daijoubu desu ka? And of course, Shoe Head always has something Kami Mommy to say, but yeah. But before we get started, this will... Unfortunately, I couldn't upload my reaction to Shoe Head's previous video because apparently a bunch of VTubers had their channels struck for reacting to it because of the sensitive information. It was regarding the Wiz app, which is one of the dating apps for kids. But this time, it shouldn't be anywhere as wishy-washy in terms of YouTube's guidelines, but still enough that I might not get monetized. Granted, I'm not monetized yet, but we'll get there. Let's up those numbers. But be sure to check out Shoe Head's original video, and let's see whether or not America is okay. Daijoubu desu ka, imai? Daijoubu. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me speed it up since it's a very long video and I don't want it to take too long. And let's go. No, that's not what I wanted. Hell World Report. Yeah, pretty much. We live in Clown World. Population, me.
Hello friends, my name is Shoe Head, and welcome to my new series, The Hell World Report.
Okay, so she's turning this into a full-fledged series, and we're all here for it. Once again, let's up those numbers.
Some of you may remember my old series that was just called Hell World. If you do...
Oh, so this is something that's completely unrelated. I thought this was just a... I thought this was just based on... I thought this was just another video in her lineup of, like... I mean, technically her men versus... her clownfish world. Oh, is that... Yes, yes, yes. I thought this was, like, another one of those videos where it's, like, her gender war type videos, but apparently this is something different.
You can qualify for a veterans discount. Congratulations! And if you remember the Gamergate days, well, please come collect your retirement. Wait.
Oh, no. I knew nothing about Gamergate. Like, I knew what it was. I remember reading a little bit of the Know Your Meme article about Gamergate, but I don't actually know shit about it, so I guess I won't be collecting any retirement.
Yeah, if you have not seen my old series, go check it out. I will put the link to the playlist down below. I think it's a really interesting time capsule.
Is it? I bet it's very old
into
then.
the years 2020 and 2021, like...
Oh, it's not even that long ago.
how crazy it was back then, and then in retrospect comparing it to how crazy it is now. But this is a shorter, more condensed version of that series. Think of it as a Temu, Jon Stewart, or Stephen Colbert before.
Yeah, you wish Gamergate never happened. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so part of me doesn't want to know as blissful ignorance, but part of me is very curious about certain, let's call them events and topics, but I also know that curiosity killed the cat, but at the same time, knowledge is power, so it's a win-lose-win scenario.
They morphed into the same flavor of shitlip. You see, I'm better than those late-night Jimmies because I don't get my news from mainstream sources like some kind of hack. No.
No.
I get them from far more reputable places like Instagram Reels and Femboy Groiper69 on
Oh, hell no.
Twitter. From furry ballrooms and the Epstein files to OnlyFans.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know what she's talking about. She's talking about that one thing that... She's talking about that dog mask ball that Jackal mentioned to me a while ago. Well, not that long ago, but yeah.
Green cards and kidnapping foreign leaders. From government-funded purple-haired girlfriends to a potential civil war, we have a very packed show for you today. It has been a crazy year. And it is only January.
It's only January? No, like in the Hey Arnold episode where Harold gets suspended and it's like, he wants to go back to school and it's only Monday.
As I am filming this, we are currently having a huge winter storm.
Yep, and it's actually, it was actually snowing like for a little bit. I mean, the snow was much lighter than last week, but still. Hopefully the card shop will be open tomorrow, although part of me would like it to be closed so I don't have to wake up early.
This morning, snow, ice, and frigid temperatures sweeping across the nation. 20 states under a state of emergency.
Ah yes, perfect weather to make some poor immigrant deliver me chicken tendies.
Oh, hell no. I'd rather go get the tendies myself because I don't want to pay the delivery fee.
It's so cold that Michigan and Minnesota received reports about exploding trees.
Exploding trees? Oh, well, it is February now, but as of the uploading of this video...
Just said no more ice, and God said...
It's only February, yep. Well, don't worry, February is the month of... Well, I was about to say it was the month of love because it's Valentine's Day that it's in this month, but it's also technically Black History Month, which... what? I mean, not to downplay the black struggle, because, you know, struggle... You know, extortion. Is extortion what you call the freedom struggle? Because I'm pretty sure in your mind, affirmative action will be extortion too. Because this is what happens when you let the school system walk all over you and let them call your kids the N-word, even though the kid that got called that word is doing the celebratory booty dance. Exploding trees, huh? And what type of trees are these? So there was one time the Dixie Chicks received threats. Oh no.
Anyway,
I've never seen that before. I need to rewind that.
Trees. Leftist said no more ice, and God said...
I've never seen this before. I didn't know that... I'm guessing it depends on the type of tree, if anything. I mean, I know that like water bottles and soda cans can explode when they freeze because water expands when it freezes. I'm guessing it functions on the same principle, but they're bending. Damn.
Anyway, in news that should have stayed in 2016. Apparently there is a new term women have coined called man-keeping.
Man-keeping? Okay, so there's mansplaining, there's the manosphere, and then there's man-spreading, and then... So they just keep coming up with new words. They keep inventing new ways to celebrate mediocrity and The Incredibles, and then they keep creating new social media services, and Granddad Bitches Freeman can't keep up.
Man-keeping is why women are done with dating.
Uh-huh, sure it is.
Researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something many
Stanford, no, universities have fallen off.
Women have been dealing with for years. It's called man-keeping, and it's helping explain why so many women are stepping away from dating altogether.
They're stepping away from dating because you assume that everyone that approaches you is a grapist.
Man-keeping describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else. All of it unpaid, unacknowledged, and often unreciprocated.
I'm pretty sure there's a biological component to this somewhere, but they don't want to acknowledge it.
Hate this therapy speak people talk with nowadays. Emotional labor? You mean being there for your partner. This is why so
Yes.
many people are just gonna start dating ChatGPT. People thought
No.
men were
I'm
gonna
not
be the
doing
ones
that.
dating AI. No. They're gonna be the ones with these sex robots. Women are
Yeah, academia is stupid at this time. Like, they'll say, they don't care what your grandmother told you in school. Genghis Khan was an Australian Aboriginal.
the ones who want the daily
There's a song, There's Gonna Be No More to This Life by Steffi Orico.
affirmation machines. Yes, honey, I love when you talk about all the drama at work. Tell me more about that bitch Veronica. Mansplaining,
Okay, I'll tell you. Of course, VTube Stude. Okay, there, it's back. God damn it.
mansplaining, man-interrupting, man-keeping, manscaping. Speaking of manscaping.
Oh, are we getting a Manscaped ad?
Before we dive into the news, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, a sponsor that can help you with your manscaping, Henson Shaving.
Oh, dang it! I was close. I thought it was gonna be Manscaped, but it's Henson Shaving. Personally, I don't shave. I don't need to, and it saves a lot of money.
For the last few decades, razor
But we're gonna watch the ad because I know that she's going to tell us thank you for not skipping the ad.
razors haven't been designed to work better. They've been designed to be marketed better. More blades, more features, more gimmicks, and skin irritation is just something you're told to deal with. A big cause for that irritation is blade flex. Most razors use springs to let the blades move as you shave. That causes extra friction and razor burn, so people use aftershave, cold water, moisturizer, whatever. They
If
fix
he was
the symptoms
using this
instead of the
horrible,
cause. But
stinky
the question nobody asks
aftershave.
is, should the blade actually move? How do we fix the actual problem? That's
I
where
don't know.
Henson Shaving comes in. By fully supporting a two-sided blade all across its length at a 30-degree angle, they hold the blade in place to
Is there a reason does that mean there's also is it a 30, 60, 90 triangle?
prevent any bouncing, skipping, just giving you an irritation-free shave. No springs, no movement, no reason to compensate with pressure. What separates Henson is the precision behind their design. With their Henson AL-13 safety razor being manufactured in the same aerospace machine shop that built parts for the International Space Station. This
Ooh,
level of precision
fancy.
allows the blade to extend just 1,000th of an inch beyond the shave plane. Less than the
1,000th
thickness of
of
a
an
human
inch.
hair. Since I switched to Henson like almost 2 years ago now, I've noticed my shaves have been way silkier and smoother. No tugging, no cuts, just a close shave that feels great on my skin. And
I
here is
bet
the
it
best
does.
part. Once you invest in a Henson razor, it is a lifetime purchase. The only thing you'll need to replace is the blades, which cost 10 cents each. So once
10
you own the
cents.
razor, you'll only be spending like
It makes
$3
you
to
wonder how
$5
they're still
per
in
year
business
on
if you
blades,
only need
compared to
one
the
for your
ongoing
whole
cost of
life.
buying those little plastic cartridges. Also, the Henson store offers a bunch of different colors, so you can pick out the razor that best suits your vibe.
Did
so
they
if you're tired
come
of
in
razor burn,
green?
skin irritation, and paying for overpriced razor blades, Henson Shaving is definitely worth checking out. Just head over to hensonshaving.com/shoe and add both a Henson razor and 100 blades to
Okay,
your
they do
cart.
come in a
Then
sort
enter
of
the code
green,
SHOE
but
at checkout
I
to
don't
get the
need
blades
one.
free with your purchase. Big thanks to Henson Shaving for sponsoring this video, and
Thank
the
you
viewer, as always,
for not skipping the ad.
You didn't.
No, I did it. Fuck you, bitch.
Right.
If you're applying pressure to the blade, either the blade has gone blunt or you're doing it wrong. Well, why not all of the above?
Now, let's get back to the video. All right, let's start with some good news. The immediate
The good news is I named my nickel Phillip, but the bad news, it's a girl nickel.
age of home buyers is now 59.
Yeah, there we go. Welcome.
But that's not all. America's seniors will now see a new $6,000 bonus exemption as part of the Working Families Tax Cut. That's $93 billion in tax cuts for seniors all over the country. And by
Okay, and wait, what's the age of that?
Working Families Tax Cut, that's $93
Now, my question is, will this apply to my parents? I'm at that age where you lose track of everybody's age. Sometimes I lose track of my own age, but I do know it's 28. I do know my parents are in their late 50s.
billion in tax cuts for seniors all over the country. And by Working Families Tax Cut, they mean you, the working family. Giving
Yep.
another billion-dollar wealth transfer to the most oppressed class. Boomers. Why are we
Bummers.
giving these geriatric
Well, my parents aren't boomers, so I guess they're not getting anything.
another tax break? Maybe they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Maybe they should stop buying so much avocado toast. God forbid we help young families raise the next generation of Americans. No, that would be communism.
Pretty.
Young people are
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure communists don't want kids.
poor as nowadays. What are they supposed to do?
Piper Raquel, 18, claims she made $2.9 million in
Oh, there we go. It's the Lonely Fans, as it should be
a
called.
single day after launching OnlyFans.
No more rights. No more women's rights. I am ready for the Islamic Revolution. Mayor Memdani, please press the
Oh, hell no.
Islamification button. I know the go-to joke is always, haha, women, am I right? But I think the real question
Bitches.
here is, should men be allowed to have credit cards? This woman
Okay, that's new.
didn't magic
No, what was it? There was a scene in a cartoon. It was either it was either The Simpsons that I saw it, or it was something else where it's like, you see, if you're going to find... No, it was South Park. South Park had a joke where it's like, the most ideal man is someone that has 2 to 3 credit cards. 1 credit card is not enough, but 4 or more is very suspicious. I think it was a South Park thing.
Create millions of dollars with her mind out of thin air. No, millions of men made this woman a millionaire overnight. Where's the accountability for that? I'm out here policing the whole.
Yeah, and those are the same type of people that'll say, "Oh, you all you guys are a bunch of objectifiers," and it's like, here you are objectifying your own body.
We need some men to be out there policing the simps. We have a simp epidemic. Simps are out of control. Not all of them though. Mine are cool. They
yes, I'm cool.
can stay. Also, isn't this like the third OnlyFans 18th birthday announcement? And
I'm sure it is. Oh yeah, there was that one bitch.
Woman turns into a millionaire overnight. Someone a little sus about that. But don't worry, thanks to AI, we are entering a new age of goonerism.
Yes. No, I keep seeing these ads pop up on the YouTube app on my phone, and I'm like, yeah, keep scrolling, and it's like, it makes me very... No, there are some certain ones that make me quite uncomfortable. Da-da. Da-da. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
Honestly, what's the big deal? Men are already talking to the guys in India who run the accounts of OnlyFans models. Is this
Oh, is that so?
really any different?
You better not redeem those models.
The internet is slowly but surely just becoming Indian men scamming other Indian men. But don't worry,
Oh,
not
hell
every
no.
internet waifu is a man using AI. In fact, if you live in the UK, you may get a state-funded, far-right, purple-haired waifu.
Oh, yes. I've been meaning to want to talk about this. I was going to react to a video of someone playing it so that I could give my 2 cents, but I think this is a very good way to talk about it.
Introducing Pathways,
Pathways, navigating gaming, the internet, and extremism. And extremism is asking basic questions.
point-and-click video game created by the UK government to help prevent online radicalization.
Pathways is an educational visual novel and learning experience created by the UK media company Shoutout UK, with funding from UK government's Prevent program, run by the Home Office.
And no, I did actually watch a video about it and like the whole backstory behind some of these organizations whose purpose was to actually prevent like legitimate radical extremism. But obviously these days, their idea of extremism is anything slightly right of the center.
The game is meant to teach the youth about dangers of radicalization and extremism in both real life and online. This is done by putting the players in a role of a character named Charlie, who must navigate 6 different scenarios relating to extremism. In the second scenario, the player is introduced to the character Amelia, a staunch anti-immigration protester depicted as a goth girl with purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker.
No, if there's a goth girl who is anti-immigration, that would technically be an oxymoron.
And the internet instantly
You
fell
gotta
in love with
figure
her.
snuff. Yes, and all of the goth mommy milk mamas. What the like that. I apologize for that cringe that I just did, but I don't care. I'm standing by it.
It's like they made her have short purple hair thinking that that would prevent this from happening. But
No, the purple-haired person would never be on that side.
the UK failed to consider the fact that conservatives love art hoes. They act like they don't, they'll deny it, they'll pretend they just want a blonde traditional housewife, but deep down every conservative wants a woman who looks like this, who says the N-word.
I don't know about that, but...
Government-funded video games.
Cool, government-funded television about the boring man and the boring thing and the boring yes.
Incredible. At least our government doesn't do weird shit like that. No, our government is very normal.
Normal. Oh, yes. Yes, I saw this the other week. Jackal told me about it, and I was like, wait, there's no way that this actually happened. And then I saw the footage, and I was like, huh, that's weird. And then Gavin Newscomb decided to talk about it.
Believe it or not, Mar-a-Lago Furry Party was on my 2026 bingo card.
Was it? I don't have a bingo card, but I do know that Hassan's bingo card is wildly inaccurate.
I miss when this weird shit was just done underground. I miss when these parties were secret. Speaking of, the Epstein files were released.
Yes, these ones. I was worried we were gonna get fucking 6.5 million of these instead of the other things that we looked at earlier.
Wow.
You should probably, if you're watching this as a standalone video on YouTube, check out the VOD.
incredible. The things they are showing us are eerie enough. I couldn't imagine the things that they're redacting. It is absolutely disgusting that these powerful people are still being protected. We as a country should be extremely concerned about an international child trafficking ring. This is not just something we all move from, and we kidnapped the president of Venezuela.
Well, here's the thing. The people of Venezuela are pretty happy about it, though.
Now, Maduro, the president says, has been captured.
Maduro has been captured and flown out of the country.
In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night.
First pictures of Nicolas Maduro on the Iwo Jima that he was being transferred on.
Trump voters voted to fix the economy and to afford homes again. They didn't vote to kidnap communists in the middle of the night. Actually, they probably did vote for that.
Probably.
Never mind.
The oil companies are going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago.
Holy shit. This is the most transparent administration in history. They weren't lying. I don't know if it's the Stockholm Syndrome or what, but it's almost refreshing to hear a leader say, yeah, this is about oil. Like,
oh, is it? Okay, so it was about oil, even if the people of Venezuela were celebrating.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for just saying it's about oil. Thank you for not pretending it's about saving democracy and just doing imperialism the old-fashioned way. We have such terrible Middle Eastern war fatigue that it was shocking to not hear about how Venezuela is just jealous of our freedoms or some shit. Like, no, it's just for ExxonMobil. Like, okay. Carry on.
The US used a powerful mystery weapon that brought Venezuelan soldiers to their knees, bleeding through their nose and vomiting blood.
The hell are they talking about?
During the daring raid to capture dictator
Is that a hyperbole, or is that what actually happened?
Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah, if you're wondering why we don't have healthcare, this is why. We have invisible laser beams that can make people bleed out their eyes.
Is it the Jewish space lasers?
Apparently, directed energy weapons are real. The Goy beam is real. Deep state pedophiles are real. Havana syndrome is real. Hell, it's almost like being a conspiracy theorist is just another word for being correct too early.
Yeah, these days, and people might still talk shit about conspiracy theorists, but I mean, I've gone down a few quote-unquote rabbit holes that get me thinking, but at the same time, it's always nice to have at least a healthy degree of skepticism.
What's next? COVID was fake?
Probably. Yes, there have been significant developments in the last 5 to 7 years on social, environment, and technology fronts that could help realize my carbon initiatives for shaping the future towards smart and sustainable cities. Specifically, to mention 3 developments in this context. COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were adopted by billions of citizens across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, mass vaccinations, and acceptance of contact tracing applications for public health, which demonstrated the core of individual social responsibility. Yeah, that's about it.
Been significant.
I would expect nothing less from the World Economic Forum.
Developments in the last 5 to 7 years on social, environment, and technology fronts that could help realize my carbon initiative.
Well, regarding what you just said, Brett, Asmongold would strongly disagree with you.
For shaping the
or would strongly disagree with your mom. And really just anyone else in the Asmongold sphere. Apologies for saying something that's unrelated to the video.
Future towards smart and sustainable cities. COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of smart and sustainable cities. COVID-19 fronts that could help realize my carbon initiatives for shaping the future towards smart and sustainable cities.
Okay, I read all of this out loud.
COVID-19 was the test of social
Anyway, Venezuela
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I just owe many people many apologies.
Okay, yep.
Anyway.
Oh, so she thought that it was real, but as it turns out, it was kind of on purpose, it seems.
Hey, Venezuela
I mean, even my mom low-key thought, yeah, COVID was made in a lab, and the whole purpose of it was to control us, which, well, there we go. At least she apologized to my mom.
has no president. Who is going to run Venezuela?
So we are going to run the country.
A few moments later.
Hola, amigos. Yo soy su nuevo presidente.
This better not be real.
El señor Donaldo J. Trumpo.
Can we maybe just fix our country first? Can we fix our broken infrastructure, our education system? Can we do a little nation building in this nation? Can a get a little regime change in our own country?
Here we go. So she wants the revolution. What happened, Shoe on Head? I thought you believed in the freedom struggle. Except you can't get shit done by getting arrested anymore. This isn't the civil rights movement.
Please. And you know, with modern American nation building comes refugees. So who is gonna take in these Venezuelan refugees? Are we? Only the hot ones, apparently.
Okay, only the big booty Latinas.
The United States increasingly issuing work visas to OnlyFans models based on level of audience reach, according to
So we're giving visas to OnlyFans now?
The Financial Times.
Imagine being an immigrant from like some poor country, working your ass off to get a work visa in the United States, when all you had to do was bend over and show hold.
No, thanks. I won't do that. You can keep your green card or the freaking gold card that he tried to whatever the hell, but nah.
Booty Latinas to the front, tortas to the back. Anyway, na boo boo, my president can kidnap your president. We're invincible. We can regime change anyone we want. Who's next? Canada, Greenland, Cuba? Cuba's literacy rates are higher than ours. Maybe they should.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 40% of kids can't read, at least in terms of Gen Alpha. Although apparently, what was it, Alabama or Mississippi has the highest literacy rates now.
Come liberate our dumbasses. Kids are swiping on books. But f it, the Don Roe Doctrine, baby. Let's go. America is back. Dick Cheney is looking up at us smiling.
Okay, wait. Just wait for Cuba.
Just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship. Their days are numbered.
Trump.
Their days have been numbered since they began. When's it going to have? When is the number gonna go down?
Listen to me. Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me.
Oh yeah, Vance will pay attention to Asmongold among other people.
Get people like Lindsey Graham far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stunt was cute, but we are not touching any other country. We're not touching the Middle East, especially.
Yeah.
No.
Things like the speech by Canada's Prime Minister and Davis is close to an admission of guilt from elites, I bet. Yeah, Canada is also, like, not doing very great as well.
Our Middle East, we all have Middle East fatigue. We
Yeah.
are done. This whole thing really.
And he was gonna get, you see, Obama. Oh, Davos? Okay. So Obama was supposed to get the troops out of Afghanistan until Werner Herzog told, at least until Werner Herzog told Granddad that Obama was not going to get the troops out. And he was like, what the fuck is this brother going to do? And only to find out that Biden was the one that did it instead. Yeah, with Cuba, we used to have it, but then we let it go. And then Russia took it.
Put into perspective just how weird it was that we were there like for 20 years. You mean we could have just been in and out in a few hours? I
bet
those poppy fields couldn't maintain.
That's right. Yes, I'm pretty sure I remember that one of the big reasons that we were in Afghanistan for so long is because it has a lot of poppies. It has a lot of poppy plants, which is the source of opium.
Pain themselves though. Anyway.
Yes, around the world. U.S. wanted to blow Cuba since the hottest part of the Cold War. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Bay of Pigs and all that. Peru. Oh, yep. Santiago. Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. But did you forget to check in with Lilith, the barista from Bushwick, and see how she feels about this?
Oh, yeah. Yes, the white bitches with the multicolored hair,
Said the United States will be running Venezuela! Woo! A colony! Woo! Imperialism! All for what? So a f***ing multinational corporation can get profit!
You know what's funny?
I want to yank that thing that's under her nose and... Actually, I don't want to do that. That's incitement to violence, and I apologize.
I basically said the exact same thing this person said, but I said it less loudly. She has a nose ring and I don't, so I'm right and she's wrong. And
yeah, pretty much.
I guess this is just what happens when you dismantle the soft power of things like USAID. We're no longer doing secret regime change operations.
That's right, yeah. She made a video exposing USAID. I wanted to share it with my... or what used to be my quote-unquote friends, but... I never found the time to do that.
Behind the scenes. Now we're just straight up kidnapping other world leaders in the dead of night and just saying it's about oil, which honestly kind of makes me believe it's not about oil. They're never that blatant, right? I mean, what could it be? Like, Israel isn't behind this one, right?
Well, according to Hamas, Diddy, Bin Laden, Adolf Epstein, Piker, it is because of Israel. Everything is Israel's fault.
The implications here are really great for the Venezuelan people.
Oh, God damn it. You know, people say I have Israel derangement syndrome, but I'm sorry, I can't help it when they get on TV and say shit like this.
No, it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some people would have a problem with that. Oh, and I see roadblocks in the background for some reason.
And quickly, before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on.
Oh yes, all the BS that they be doing in yeah.
That ranking.
At least in the UK.
The government should
control social media.
should
I
do that.
can't
Try
flip
explaining that
either.
to someone without showing them the video. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a Jewish billionaire named Shlomo who wants to control the internet.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that so?
okay, man, you're in too deep. No more Instagram reels for you. Anyway, you should have just let us play video games. Now we're perp walking the president of Venezuela down the streets of New York City. But hey, let's just think of it this way. By bombing and kidnapping, instead of just doing the usual covert psyops, we saved maybe, what, $1 billion?
Yeah, my fellow Latino man. They're such pendejos. I don't remember what that means.
$1 billion that could go to other, more important things, like defense contractor stock buybacks and empty Somalian daycares.
Oh, and here comes the heretic daycare center.
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick
MAGA?
Shirley, back at a daycare in Minnesota.
Oh, and of course, the corrupt news network.
He alleged was a fraud.
He alleged, and it's not alleged anymore. We know that it's fraud, which, by the way, is against the teachings. Let's just leave it at that.
Fraudulent facility in a now viral video. Shirley tries to open locked doors.
And it's the leering center. Remember, it's the leering center. We gotta leer these kids that probably aren't even necessarily there.
And talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers.
It's not like Nick Shirley was the first person to expose this either, but now it exploded. And the fallout has been bizarre, to say the least.
Bizarre.
The funniest part had to be when the infamous luring center claimed to have been broken into the night this all went viral.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news.
Oh no, somebody broke into the daycare and stole all the paperwork we needed to prove we are a legit operation.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Please
okay.
ignore my suspicions.
I never actually knew what was going on, but yeah.
Paperwork we need to prove we are legit
I just knew that it was a thing.
Listen, no hate to the Somalians, but when my family came here 100
Well, unless your name is Matt Walsh, in which all hate to the people of Somaliland.
years ago, we did organized crime the right way. We would have had Tim Walls.
Yes, we would have had someone from Sicilia would be like, "What are you doing here on the day of my daughter's wedding?"
Cement shoes at the bottom of Lake Superior. This is just sad. This is cartoonishly pathetic. Listen, nobody is going to want to support government programs if they think it's all going to like this. If you want people to support a welfare state, you have to make sure that welfare is actually going to real things that help real people. Listen, it's already hard enough to convince a right-wing audience that there's more to leftism than Reddit and butt sex. Now I have to convince them the wealth redistribution I advocate for isn't all going to Somalian welfare pirates.
I'm sure it's not.
That money should be spent on more important things like New Gaza.
New Gaza.
That's right, the World Economic...
Okay, Jared Kushner, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, pitches Gaza master plan. Oh, that's right. He wanted to... Yeah, they wanted to... I don't even remember what the whole plan was. I just know that they wanted to rebuild it.
Economic Forum and Jared Kushner are proud to present New Gaza. Yes, the...
Yeah, like that's kind of
The
happening.
demolition project is finally complete, folks. Time to build a Sweet Green and a f***ing Deloitte branch on top of the bodies of thousands of dead children. Hell is not hot enough, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not.
Hell is not hot enough. Anyway, because of all this fraud stuff...
I've actually been meaning to talk about something like that, but now I'm not popular enough. I need to wait.
Tim Walz is stepping down, which is sad to see because he has to be one of my favorite characters in modern America lore. The
That's unfortunate. Yes, my favorite her favorite character is being offed in the next season, only for him to be brought back 2 episodes later by some time travel shenanigans.
First white male DEI hire, the last white
Oh, that's right.
dude for Kamala Harris. A dying breed. But hey, maybe this marks an official end to the Kamala Harris era, and we can move on and focus on rebuilding the Democratic Party to something more. Harris stepping toward another White House run.
Of course she is.
No. We are not doing this. No. I swear to God.
I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
Democratic Party's like an old friend.
Because it's more content for the legendary slop series of More Pegasus.
Addicted to heroin or something. You want to help them, you do everything you can to help them, but they don't listen. They keep doing stupid things and hurting themselves. But you just can't give up on them. You can't. You want to see them get better. You know deep down, they could be how they used to be. But it's hopeless. And all your other friends keep saying to you, just forget them. Just forget them. It's not worth it. Come hang out with us instead. But those friends are on crack. Those friends are on crack cocaine. But this Minneapolis fraud thing is looking pretty bad for Tim Walz and the Democrats. People aren't just gonna forget about this. And an ICE officer just shot a woman in the face in Minneapolis.
Oh, and then there's this going on as well.
You can hear the agents tell the woman to get out of the car and approach the SUV.
Okay.
The woman then
Is this the footage?
drives forward. That's when the shot.
Oh, okay, so this is the footage. All right. All right, that actually makes things a little easier to understand for me.
Shots are fired. The car
No, I felt that.
car crashing.
As I was writing this video, an innocent woman was picking her kids up from school when an ICE officer jumped in front of her car and ran.
I'm pretty sure that the plan for Gaza Resort is to offer luxury tours at the soon-to-be rebuilt third temple. Yeah, I don't know if you know who Jew Boy is, but Jew Boy is not particularly fond of them wanting to build a third temple, because in his mind, the promised Messiah is supposed to build the temple, not Thump in the US government.
Randomly shot her in the face. Or an angry protester was blocking the road and tried to run over an ICE officer with her car, so he shot in self-defense. Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you voted, apparently.
Kind of. Unless you're this one channel that I saw who was complaining about enlightened centrists.
The way I see it, this woman was not trying to hit him. She was not trying to run him over. I think she was trying to drive away. And in an alternate universe, he dodges the car and she drives away. And it's easy to be like, oh, in hindsight, he should have done this, he should have done that. That's like so much of the discourse right now I'm seeing is just in hindsight this, in hindsight that. And it's easy for us to say in hindsight, you know, after the fact.
I'm pretty sure Asmongold thinks that the woman is in the wrong.
It's easy to say.
Although don't quote me on that.
If he should have, but all he saw was a car revving up and going towards him. This has been one of the most insane political Rorschach tests I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It really all comes down to how you view ICE and police officers in general.
Yeah. As a Christian, you know that they will build the third temple and the Antichrist will take over, declaring himself God. I'm proud.
Many, not all, leftists view ICE as completely illegitimate. Same with the police, they want to abolish both. So you're not going to get a real unbiased conversation with those people. Because why the f should a protester respect ICE in the first place? And many, not all, conservatives tend to be complete and utter f***ing bootlickers. Completely unable to criticize anything the police do. ICE can do no wrong. Don't tread on me becomes tread harder.
Oh, that actually reminds me of some other scenario where Hassan accused Asmongold of plagiarizing him whenever Asmongold criticizes ICE in a particular context.
Real fast. This is extremely aggravating discourse, and you should be questioning anyone who takes a really firm, hard stance either way and like can't fathom how the other side is seeing what they are seeing.
The nurse is even worse and less ambiguous.
First episode of my old Hell Road series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB-y back then. I was a little more libbed the f*** out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years. The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks, even. But my overall opinion is still basically the same. I'm very critical of the police. I am very pro First Amendment. Protesting is a fundamental American right. We can't just go around labeling protesters domestic terrorists.
Yeah, it's like if you're I remember this one instance of like some people in Florida who were protesting the alligator Alcatraz. But those protesters were being respectful of the law because apparently, according to Florida law, if you're just standing in the middle of the street, then people have the right to run you over if you're causing a disruption. And they were all standing on the sidewalk, so at least they're following the law.
That is an insane...
As opposed to what happened in California, which was a big no-no, including within California law.
Slippery slope. And if you support that, I promise you it will come back to bite you in the ass. So good luck in 2028 when President Newsom knocks you up. No.
Oh, so he's in the files too, huh?
Whoa, knocks you up. Whoa, what's going on here? Good luck in 2028 when President Newsom locks you up for protesting against mandatory forced feminization or whatever the f it is Democrats do.
I don't know what they're doing now.
What do they do?
That's a real good question.
Nothing. I don't know. I left this joke blank. Something pronoun.
That sounds like me when I'm trying to... I'm doing it right now. I'm drawing a blank.
It's like, God forbid the state ever turns me into Swiss cheese and the president's like, she was a radical leftist lunatic. The people called her Commie Mommy.
Yes, let's go. No, you are the Commie Mommy.
Can you believe that, folks? Commie Mommy?
Commie Mommy, let's go.
Some people were like straight up mocking this woman, celebrating it, and then when people were like, what the f***, they were like, well, you got Charlie Kirk, so now we...
I know Metatron wasn't mocking it.
Got one of your guys. Is that what we're doing now? We're just gonna keep killing each other back and forth? Is that what this is now? Like some kind of civil war? Who gets me in the national divorce? Hell yeah.
I mean, my mom has told me more than once that she thinks that there will be a civil war. And whether or not and then there's a friend of mine who said that there's not going to be a civil war. So I guess we can just make of it what we will.
2 Christmases. Like, you agreed with me when I was upset about the reactions people had about Charlie Kirk, and then you're over here like, boo-hoo, she was a stupid libtard. Honestly, some of you just don't have morals. You have, like, temporary weapons you can use to bludgeon people you don't like when you
Sounds
have a chance.
about right.
You and all the people who mock Charlie Kirk are all going in the pit, and you can come out when you learn how to be normal. In my opinion, a lot of focus on illegal immigration should go to the employers employing illegal immigrants for cheaper scab labor.
Yeah,
I feel
pretty
like that's
much. They do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just giving the appearance of 2 parties, yeah. Because at least many other countries have multiple parties. But the problem with that is that a lot of those parties are like, they have all sorts of coalitions as a means of some of the, like, if there's one party that like outnumbers some of the others, those others will form an opposition coalition to counter that predominant party. And it's like, are they really multiple parties, or is it just a bunch of sub parties within 2 big ones?
Really important, and like, we're not doing that. It's kind of interesting that the government is focused so hard on immigration right now, but like, apparently hasn't made any like real actual legislative change to the laws of immigration. Dragging Jose at a Home Depot might work for now, but
you see, Randy Marsh was looking for some broke-ass illegal immigrants down at the Home Depot because nobody knows how to do shit anymore, and AI was supposed to be this magical fucking thing that's supposed to take all our jobs, but it doesn't know how to do shit!
they have to be working on something more substantial, right? Well, Palantir, the company named after the evil crystal ball in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh my god. Is this that? Oh my god. That Randy Marsh joke I just made is the perfect segue into this. I completely forgot that this was a thing. The first time that I heard about this was within the South Park episode about Peter Thiel. Is that what's going on here?
Right. Is apparently working on a new tool for ICE. And what does it do? Oh, nothing really. Just creates a map of deportation targets, pulls up a dossier on them, and assigns them a confidence score. Because
yeah, that's what happens in Mexico. Coalitions just results in bipartisanship anyway, yeah. No, I know about this because someone mentioned it in the context of the South Park episode about Peter Thiel, because he knows about the Antichrist. I don't remember how that song goes, but yeah.
There's one thing we can trust, it's a private Silicon Valley tech company's algorithm deciding who gets disappeared. Every single surveillance tool starts by simply protecting us. It's only gonna affect the baddies, but who are the baddies? Today it's illegal immigrants, tomorrow it's furries, next week it's people who are into feet, and before you know it, it's fans of VTubers.
Well, that's 1.5 out of 3 pretty much describes not necessarily me, because there's someone that I know that doesn't consider me a fuzzy, even though I do have this walking, talking animal or an avatar. So I guess that I'm going to be within the eye of Sauron. So if I disappear in the next year or two, you know exactly what happened.
You know, on second thought, I don't buy into the propaganda that's simply enforcing.
And no, she likes VTubers though. And VTubers really like her. Whenever she uploads a video, there's usually a whole bunch of VTuber reactions. All right, go ahead and prepare your lunch. But yeah, because you don't name your company as the evil Sauron if you're not going to do something evil.
Border security, something every developed country has, is akin to Nazi Germany. Sorry, I don't. Build a wall? Hitler. Deport illegal immigrants? Hitler. Just kick out the criminal ones at least? Hitler. Like, there's no other option besides open borders that is acceptable to some people, and I don't get that. What I do get, however, is that people don't want to live under a Palantir police state, where people can't even film ICE agents without getting put on some kind of f***ing list. I feel like there has to be some kind of normal, sane option besides total free-for-all, globo-homo, versus Peter Thiel, nightmare tech bro dystopia. Like, how is it not possible to just, like, be normal, be normal. But hey, it's cool.
Don't worry.
Well, the DHS created a portal where you can see all the people they have been deporting. One guy was deported back to Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia
doesn't even exist anymore. Has he been illegally in this country has he been here since the 90s? No, aggravated assault, gun robbery in LA. No, when people say that it's only brown people that are getting deported, this is a fucking white dude.
Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
We sent that motherfucker back in time.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. No, it seems that we have time travel now, which reminds me of various time travel conspiracy videos that I've seen where time travel gets invented in 2008. No, 2023 is when time travel is supposed to have been invented, but it wouldn't be announced until 2028. But I don't know the validity of any of these claims because they all tend to piggyback off of each other. That the list already exists and you're in there? I wonder. Don't give me any ideas.
What happened to Renee Good was a tragedy. It was terrible, but hopefully nothing like this ever happens again. And another person was shot by ICE in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
According to a preliminary Department of Homeland Security report, 2 Border Patrol agents discharged their weapons, seen here in graphic cell phone video captured by eyewitnesses. 10 shots fired off in total in just seconds. Pretty.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about this one.
Pronounced dead on the scene.
To be absolutely clear, stuff is still coming out about this as I am filming. Literally, as I am filming, this happened. You know, there's no body cam footage yet, so I could be totally wrong. Totally possible, totally possible. However, first impressions of watching the video at multiple angles, multiple times. Yeah, I think they just fucking murdered that guy. It looks like they took his gun and then shot him. Like 10 officers come over to him, wrestle him to the ground, the agent disarms him.
At this point, I don't know who to give sympathy towards. Yeah, the Palantir surveillance thing, yeah. At this point, I don't know who to give my sympathies towards anymore. At this point, I'm just gonna do me, alright? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep streaming. I'm gonna keep working at my job. I'm gonna keep playing DDR. I'm just going to keep living my life at this point without having to worry too much about what's going on. I mean, with a video, looking at something like a video like this, I'll at least be aware of things and I can make up my own mind after the fact. But for now, I'm just like, all of this, it's all just a bunch of noise. But when people like Shoe1Head talk about it, at least it's entertaining.
Take his gun, they yell gun, 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 and they shoot him several times in the back. More information could come out, but the compulsive bootlicking I have been seeing has been fucking insane.
What exactly are people saying? Tensions rise over deadly CPB.
Nurse feel compelled to go confront ICE armed with a 9mm hit.
Yeah, the only way to keep your sanity in these times. Yeah, just keep living your life. If something happens to you in something like this, at least you'll be remembered.
Gun. Only one person could have prevented this from happening, and it's Alex Petty.
Yeah, who goes to a protest and brings a gun?
I don't know who that is, though.
Look, if the government can take a firearm from you and then kill you because you had a firearm, then nobody actually has a right to own a firearm. If that is how it works, then there's actually no such thing as the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment does not exist. I feel like...
Well, then, no. You see, there's this group of people known as the Sisters of the Second Amendment who scheduled a protest across the street from the school board headquarters. The full of a bunch of old ladies with guns who was all like, we had this spot reserved months ago, and that well-dressed brother over there starts protesting with whatever bullshit he's complaining about us, and then those old ladies end up shouting at them and refer to them as the N-word several times, and so those old ladies are getting sued to oblivion.
People genuinely just forget that police are just people. ICE officers are just people. They're literally just people who work for the government like anyone else. They're DMV employees with guns. They can be stupid. They can be bad. They can make mistakes. Like, I don't know what it is about some people. Like, once someone has a badge, it's like, that person is just a perfect angel and cannot be criticized at all. You're telling me all I have to do to get you fucking people to listen to me is to dress like this?
I don't know.
Alright, fair enough. Stop gooning.
Yeah, some people in the US can't even go buy an ice cream without carrying a gun. I do know someone, I have met someone who, because of the place that because of where they live, they have to worry about that kind of stuff. And they have, like, this person had a concealed weapon permit. And, yeah, because there are some places all over the world that can be dangerous because of, that's just the nature of those places. Hate to say it that way, but either way, I mean, I do know, I don't know if any of you have been keeping up with the Tectone situation, but apparently he can't hold a firearm because of some court proceeding. Although I have yet to I haven't made a video or a reaction about that. even though I've kind of thought about it. I'm not going to talk about it right now because it's beyond my pay grade.
None of this would have happened if ICE agents were being trained better instead of being rushed through the system with little to no training.
Oh, is that what that one South Park episode was about?
If Minnesota just worked alongside ICE to make sure they were doing this in a safe and more effective way, instead of just egging on a f***ing jihad against them. Also, if ICE's goal is to round up pedophiles and fraudsters, I hear there's a pretty big list of pedophiles and fraudsters that need to be rounded up.
In the government, yeah.
Unfortunately, we'll never f***ing get to see it. I'm trying to make this video somewhat
Don't worry.
funny and entertaining, but I'm not gonna-
I was gonna say that as someone who cares about justice, we'll just wait and see. That's all I can say for certain.
lie, this is really bleak. Is America okay? Can we please go one single day?
To be honest, I was actually thinking about this earlier today with regards to the title of this video. I remember thinking to myself, America hasn't really been okay since the Cold War. And a lot of the stuff that seems to be going on can be traced back to the Cold War. I mean, I'm sure there are other things that could be traced back to even earlier, like even just to the dawn of civilization. But I just mean, like, in terms of, like, things escalating into, like, the Gulf War, which eventually, like, or even, like, the involvement with Afghanistan against the USSR's invasion therein and the Mujahideen, knowing that Osama bin Laden was there when the USSR invaded, and we gave them the weapons that Al-Qaeda would eventually have, and so it's all an interconnected series of things that are beyond most people's control, except for the higher echelons of society.
Without living through a major historical event, please? And a bunch of new Epstein files just dropped.
Yep.
Great. We're going to war with Iran soon, aren't we?
Are we?
Where was I? This just says Mr. Beast tendies.
Oh yeah, Mr. Beastland is a thing. Nobody cares about it because he's growing increasingly irrelevant to the point to where he's texting random YouTubers about, why did you make this video criticizing me? It hurt my feelings.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is
Wait.
simulating a chicken's body and the cells are just multiplying.
Wait, what is this? Wait, okay, this is my first time hearing about this.
Honestly can't tell the difference, what the heck?
I will not live in a pod. I will not eat the Antichrist lab-grown chicken tendies.
No, I mean, it kind of depends.
Oh, I completely forgot about this. Sorry, I'm not on my Vyvanse today, folks.
I don't know, I don't do anything, so...
Forgot to take my normal pills. It wasn't long before the race hustlers took advantage of the terrible Renee Good situation in Minneapolis.
Oh,
Say
yeah.
Her Name is a movement started by black women, for black women specifically, and it's not appropriate to use in regards to Renee Good.
She deserves a hashtag and everything.
Say Her Name is for black bitches, not Renee Nicole Good. Mr. Beast is becoming relevant. Thank fuck. Yeah, no, he's been doing, no, there are these Mr. Beast Halloween themed Reese's knockoffs that are still available at the gas station down the street. I still see them there. They're Halloween themed, and it's already February, so that's how you know how irrelevant that he's become. And I don't really know anything about this Renee person,
It should
though.
not be Say Her Name. Say Her Name is reserved for black women. This is not for any other race.
No, Say Her Name was created... Wait, I don't actually know what's going on here.
Simple as that.
Say Her Name is specifically reserved for black women.
Say Her Name is for black women.
No, what the hell is going on?
It feels kind of wrong being here in some way.
Oh, I've seen this clip.
I don't know why. I don't know.
I don't know why. That's called white guilt, honey.
Mm.
That's the white guilt you're feeling.
White guilt is a load of bullshit, so don't do it.
It's amazing. You can literally be killed by the state for the cause. And these fucking people will still disgrace you for the curse of being born Caucasian. This is very woke 1.0. I thought it was dark woke time.
Oh no, freedomnews.tv, sure. And what is this? Who has received the highest honor? I have no idea what they're talking about. The highest honor a white person can achieve? What the hell does that even mean? Oh, I see it. Renee Cole Good was shot by ICE. Do I have anything on my soundboard that can I don't even know what's going on anymore. That's how bullshit that this... Oh my god.
She has achieved the highest honor
yeah.
a white person can achieve. Race traitor.
Race traitor. So... No, at this point, I'm just fucking flabbergasted. I mean, I know... Turns out that black privilege is the solution to the problem we all want. Welcome to black fatigue. No, there isn't anything in my soundboard that can prepare me for something like this. Except maybe the... No, at this point, I don't even know. I'm at the point to where these people are just so... Yeah.
And this type of psychotic rhetoric seems to be working, because like 70% of the videos I see of people like trying to disrupt ICE has been white women.
No, that's the irony.
Women literally throwing themselves at armed officers like lemmings off a fucking cliff for street tacos. What the hell is going on with white women? Who will save the white race?
Oh, wait, who is that? Is that Fuent Nictes? Oh, and then Snokey.
Ah, yeah.
And the Yeezy crew, basically. Yes. The quadruple male alpha chads.
As Hitler's strongest soldiers.
Oh, no. The gay Mexican Hilter and black Hilter and soy cuck Hilter.
Mexican, a Dominican, a black guy, and a looks maxer.
Okay, Mexican, a Dominican, whatever.
That looks maxer is none other than clavicular.
Oh, I know about this guy. I mean, I don't know jack shit about Clavicular other than that he was mentioned in More Pegasus.
Clavicular is a Gen Z influencer and live streamer who got his start within the niche red pill communities and has recently blown up to mainstream popularity, especially in right-wing circles. His main claim to fame is looks maxing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Looks maxing, for those of you who are employed, is...
Looks maxing is a term for aggressively maximizing one's physical...
Yeah, we looked at a Notozi video about the Russian looks maxer with Popeye arms. You should check that video out.
Attractiveness through routines like skincare, facial exercises, mewing, fitness, and sometimes extreme cosmetic procedures. Originating in online incel forums, but popularized on TikTok, focusing on enhancing features like jawline and bone structure.
I personally think it's interesting to see men adopting the insane beauty rituals that women have been doing for decades. But now that a man is doing it, it's seen as psychopathic or gay. A woman will literally spend thousands of dollars on hair, makeup, skincare, peptides, plastic surgery, fillers, Botox, red light therapy, moon water.
Yeah, check out the Normal Gaze video that we reacted to for that.
And we just call her Stacey. But a man does it, and we call him Patrick Bateman. A woman reshapes her entire face with makeup? Normal. A man reshapes his jawline with makeup? Gay. A woman wears a push-up bra to make her tits look bigger? Empowering. A man shoves socks in his shoes to make himself taller? A liar. A woman gets lip filler? Typical. A man smashes his face with a hammer to make his jaw swell up?
Who the hell? It's RP it's seen charisma stats. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on anymore!
Okay, yeah, that one's a little insane. One of the looks maxing tips...
No. Ain't nobody. You wouldn't catch me dead doing something like this, because I'd already be dead if I did something like this. Fuck this. Fucking no. You look fine. This guy looks okay. All right? I mean, he's not my type, but I'm just saying. No. Stop it. Yeah, and it was called being metrosexual. Yes, South Park had a whole episode about it. But the truth about metrosexuals is that they're all crab people. Crab people. You got your dishes cleaned up? Nice.
Where they take a hard object, usually a hammer, and smash the bones in their face.
Stop! I don't want to see this!
To make their face
Please don't...
temporarily swell up and allegedly give them that Chad jawline.
Oh my god, no. I'm freaking writhing in painless pain just thinking about something like this.
Honestly, don't knock it till you try it.
I mean, if it's with a little toy hammer, I mean, maybe, but...
Here we go.
Oh, damn, no, that's a glow up like I've never seen. She's even got the lips.
Perfect.
Yes, let's go.
So that concludes this episode of the...
Yeah, so why use, like, the little thingamajigs, whatever they're called. Cover up? Something like that? The little... I'm sure you've seen them. They got the little Never mind.
The Hell World Report. If you liked it, please subscribe and consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel, and I appreciate it.
You want to hot your cheek if you want to improve? No, I don't. Well, I don't know how it works. Don't ask. Please don't.
Hate it so much. If you don't want to do that, you can also put a little tip down in the tip jar somewhere over here somewhere. I feel like a barista. Yeah, it's just gonna ask you something.
Oh, I can't wait till I get this feature.
Have some stories you want me to cover.
Why do you hit your cheek if you want to improve your jaw? I don't know. Maybe it has to do with blood flow.
In the next Hell World Report, be sure to send them to me on Twitter at ShoeOnHead. I will give you a little shout out if I wind up using the story in the next episode. Okay, and I will see you guys with a new fun slop video. I keep promising a slop video. And
yes, we need more slop. We need more gender war.
Things keep happening. I'm sorry. Next video is a slop video. I promise. Okay, bye.
Okay, no, that was... No, I pretty much just lost track of everything at the end because I was like... I didn't realize there was that much that happened. I wasn't expecting Mr. Beast to creating synthetic chicken nuggets. No, that was not on my radar or my bingo sheet. God damn it, that's insane. But I haven't actually seen anyone talk about it. Usually more Pegasus is hip, is usually all caught up on like Mr. Beast and Logan Paul stuff, or at least anything pertaining to that. But yeah, that certainly puts... And most of this happened within the month. Most of this happened just this month alone, and it feels like it's been a year. And time is supposed to move fast. And no, people, Gen Z and millennials keep talking about, damn, it's already 2028. Ocarina of Time came out this many years ago, which, yes, the perception of time can be a very... I don't know. Yeah, no, ShoeOnHead is great. Yeah, well, no, I know a lot of VTubers look at her and clip reactions, so that's what I'm gonna do first thing tomorrow. But, yeah. Okay, we'll be done with that. Let me check some shit, see how everything is looking. Everything is looking fine. Refresh this. Alright, everything is looking nice. Alright, there is one video that it's already 3:21. How long did this reaction go for? You feel like you've aged 5 years within this month alone. I know. It's so... But don't worry. In my mind, I mean, I know I don't know what exactly would you call a middle ground between optimism and pessimism? If there's something in between that. Realism? Not necessarily realism, but... I mean, I tend to be, I guess, like, deep down within me, I'm, like, optimistic at heart. I always try to look forward to the bright sides of things, and to be honest, within my personal life, things have been looking up for me. At least the realism, I guess, but in my personal life, things have been looking up for me, especially some of the smaller things. Granted, there are some downs, but those downs that I experience are more like just mild inconveniences, are nothing compared to what other people around the world might have to deal with. But at least in my life, yeah, I see things good and bad. Yeah. I see how Rose Quartz was good, and I see how she was bad and good and bad, but yeah. Yeah, I was taught to believe that all people are born neutral and could be equally good or bad, but you know. And I know that like scientifically speaking, well, I was going to say that people can change, but at the same time, people also don't change. It's like, people can change, but they still hold on to whatever personality that they've been growing up with. Yeah, even Brett here in chat has been doing fairly well for himself as well. Oh, you get paid to swim? Oh, do you get paid? I mean, I know that obviously, like, professional athletes will get paid millions, especially if it's like NBA or NFL and all of that. but at least you're doing what you love. I mean, as they say, if your job is doing something that you love, then they say that you never work a day in your life. And that's kind of that's the SpongeBob philosophy of things. SpongeBob loves being a fry cook, and you get paid. Oh, when you work at your job. I thought, no, if you were like a pro swimmer, like the big leagues, oh, they'd pay you handsomely for that. Like, especially if you're at something like at the level of the NFL or the NBA and all that. But like SpongeBob loves being a fry cook, and he doesn't even do it for the money. But a lot of people these days are transstasis and homeostasis, changing to adapt and trying to keep business. Yeah, pretty much. But people these days are more like Squidward, where it's like they have these jobs just so they can stay afloat. I mean, I'm grateful that I still live with my family and my dad makes good money, but all of that can change in an instant. And if that ever happens, then I'd have to act on my feet to make sure that nothing happens to me and my family. So, but thankfully things have been doing pretty well for me. But man, yeah, it's nice to have these little chats like these, especially if there's like people lurking and all of that. But I think it would be the good. Actually, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah, I live with my family. But I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Alright, I think it's a good idea that we move on. We might not have time for a fourth video unless we want to do a J-Mail deep dive, but I do definitely want to take a look at Religion for Breakfast's latest video about what fantasy gets wrong about sacred groves, because granted, I don't really know that much about the concept of a sacred grove, but yeah. But having all these historical bad moments you've been experiencing your mom's. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember you bringing that up during the Left 4 Dead streams. I completely forgot about that. If she's recovering and all right, well, at least she's doing good. No, keep on watching out for her, all right? If she's getting better, then she's getting better, and I wish the best for her. So good on that. But I do want to take a look at this video just as something, I guess, more lighthearted and casual compared to what we just looked at. And honestly, we should have time for one more small video. I see Language Simp had just uploaded a video about why he hates learning Spanish, which I think you might enjoy watching that with me, Rody. But let's go ahead and check this out first, and be sure to check out his original video when you get the chance. And let's get started. Let me check the speed first. There.
Zelda video games, you spend a lot of time in sacred groves, dense forest sanctuaries where the earthly realm starts to feel less earthly.
Da 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 da. 10 years.
They're often where you obtain sacred objects, like pulling the Master Sword from its pedestal, or where you speak with guardian spirits like the Great Deku Tree. Basically, a threshold where the sacred meets the mundane. And always there's those little glowing floaty things.
Yes, the particle effects. I don't actually know if they're fairies or if they're like fireflies or something. You live on your own, which means you have your own. Oh, okay. I would live on my own, but I have yet to financially recover from the things that happened to me a few months ago, so yeah.
I've always wondered what these are supposed to be. Fireflies, fairies, whatever they are, there's
probably all of the above.
The universal sign in Zelda that this is sacred nature.
Yeah.
And we see the same vibe across the
and he's got the Deku Tree Lego set. Yeah, let's go.
Broader fantasy genre. Sacred groves are portrayed as liminal spaces between the earthly and the divine, impossibly ancient, untouched, primeval places that seem to operate by different rules. In Princess Mononoke, the cedar forest is ruled by the forest spirit. The trees are ancient.
Will-o-wisps,
The forest is full of Kodama spirits, and animals act as moral agents, defending the land against human extraction. The forest feels alive, powerful, and older than history itself. That feels compelling, but it also doesn't really match real-world sacred groves.
I'm sure it
Real-world
doesn't.
sacred groves are usually not untouched by human hands.
Yeah, they're usually, as you can see here, it's more of a spectacle than anything else.
They're not frozen relics of an ancient wilderness. In many cases, it's actually the exact opposite.
Yeah, they're usually something sacred that you would visit regularly. Sacred Grove Conservation Project. I mean, I can imagine if you want to preserve it because it's sacred, that makes sense. But you also, if it's like a pilgrimage destination, that's something that you also have to take into account.
This is where human communities have been shaping the landscape for centuries through rituals, taboos, caretaking, harvesting, and...
Yeah, I've never seen Princess Mononoke, although I have listened to, what was it called? Spirited Away. I've listened to it like once or twice.
Sometimes.
And also Kiki's Delivery Service.
Political conflict. So here's the challenge I want to put on the table. In this video, we're going to look at a few real-world sacred groves, and I'm hoping that at least one game designer or fantasy writer steals these ideas wholesale.
Oh, I'll do that. If I'm ever fortunate enough to have something like that, I definitely implement something like it.
Okay, let's start with a working definition. As with any religious phenomenon, sacred groves are incredibly diverse. They exist across multiple continents, religious communities, and ecosystems, from the Himalayas to the Mediterranean, from Shinto shrine forests to African ancestral groves. But despite this diversity, we can identify at least a few general principles that mostly hold up across cultural contexts. The grove part is the easy part. At a minimum, we're talking about a patch of forest or vegetation, some bounded space in the natural world, however small. Sometimes the sacred grove is literally just a few trees.
A clone of the Mahabodhi tree. Is that so?
But what about the sacred part? That's the harder part of the definition. And here, fantasy storytelling actually gets something right. Sacred groves are sacred.
This is a sacred grove. Keep it clean. I don't know what language that is.
Because they're set apart. They operate under different rules than the everyday world. The English word sacred comes from the Latin sacer, meaning something dedicated or set apart for the gods. It's a word that implies boundary and restriction, something marked off and not to be treated like everything else. This tracks closely with how the early 20th century sociologist Emil...
I think the Arabic word haram also has a similar meaning, at least sometimes. Like, I know that the typical translation is forbidden or prohibited, but it could also mean something that is, like, off limits in terms of being sacred.
Durkheim described religion. For Durkheim, religion is all about the line drawn between the sacred and the profane. On one side, you have ordinary life. Cooking, working, walking around, that's the profane. On the other hand, there are spaces, times, and practices that are regulated, revered, marked as extraordinary. That's the sacred. So a sacred grove is a piece of nature that's been ritually, socially, and often legally set apart. Another thing fantasy gets mostly right is that sacred groves are often considered to be the home of a supernatural presence. Sacred groves aren't sacred because they're natural. They're sacred because something supernatural is believed to dwell in them or move through them. Now, the specifics differ across cultures. In Japan, for example, shrine forests are often understood as the literal homes of spirits called kami.
Right, and then within Japan, there are also those keyhole-shaped burial mounds. Yeah, sacred opposite to mundane or profane. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I've seen quite a few of these, like, they're kind of scattered about. This is the Meiji Shrine Forest. I do know that there are also those keyhole-shaped burial mounds.
Shrine groves often surround the sacred
that are
structure
also
like a
like
green
off
perimeter,
limits.
and they themselves are the object of reverence. In other traditions, the divine presence is less about dwelling and more about the manifestation of the divine. Take central Italy, for example. Across the countryside, you'll find small shrines nestled into groves.
Oh, that's neat.
Many of these shrines mark sites where saints or angels are believed to have appeared and worked a miracle, maybe like
I can
helping a
imagine.
shepherd find a lost animal. A shrine is built to commemorate the event, and the grove around it becomes protected. In southern China, and also in Korea, many villages protect feng shui forests, groves embedded in a broader system of beliefs about the flow of qi, or vital energy. These forests are usually located near a village where they also help to regulate wind, water, and the balance of qi, thought to sustain prosperity and well-being. When those relationships are maintained, the village is believed to flourish, and when they're disrupted, misfortune can follow. So the
Right.
general theme here is, across cultures, sacred groves are places where the divine is present. It is localized and it's accessible, whether it's a Catholic saint, an ancestor, or qi. And again, this is actually something pop culture gets surprisingly right. In The Legend of Zelda, entering a sacred grove usually means you're there to ask for help, to receive a blessing,
Yes,
consult
the great Deku Tree, who constantly speaks in thous and thines.
a guardian spirit, or encounter a god tree that knows more than you do. Even Avatar gives us a striking version of this idea. The Tree of Voices is in a sacred grove where the living can literally speak with their ancestors. What all of these stories capture fairly well is the same basic idea that sacred groves are sites of encounter, places where you can go because something or someone is there and can hear you and respond to you and change your situation. But this is where pop culture starts to drift from reality. In the real world, sacred groves are not just about you and the divine, they're about society and the divine.
No, that's the thing, because I know that one of the definitions of or at least one of the characteristics of religion that Andrew, right? I can never remember his name, but it's like, it's not, I mean, when people think about it, they say that it's a set of beliefs, even though he argues for the 3 B's of belief, behavior, and belonging. It's just as much a communal thing as it is a personal thing.
Which means they come along with everything that society brings along with it. Social rules, communal ownership, and shared obligations. They're regulated, they're restricted, and they're often tied up in local politics and institutions. Sometimes those rules involve personal purity, like abstaining from certain foods, alcohol, or sex before entering. In many traditions, people can gather herbs, perform rituals, or even harvest wood from sacred groves, but only under specific conditions. Some groves open up during festivals and draw
Red Legere, yeah, to bind is what it means.
Huge crowds,
or at least that's what it allegedly means. We don't actually know if that's where the word religion comes from, but it's our best bet.
Are so restricted that only certain people are allowed inside. So all this to say, in the real world, sacredness is not a natural or self-evident quality that a space can possess. Sacredness is produced and maintained by people through stories, rituals, taboos, enforcement, and tradition. So this is the part that pop culture usually skips, and instead replaces it with a very specific vibe, perfectly captured in Game of Thrones. In the world of George R.R. Martin, sacred groves called God's Woods are sanctuaries for the old gods of the forest, ancient, ominous places where you can feel the weight of time pressing down on you.
Was this filmed in a real location? Because I know that, like, Lord of the Rings was filmed in, I think, New Zealand, or is this just some prop for a set piece?
He describes the Godswood in Winterfell like this: a dark primal place, an old forest untouched for 10,000 years. This was a place of deep silence and brooding shadows, and the gods who lived here had no names. This is the quintessential pop culture image, the sacred grove as nature at its purest, primeval, untouched, and outside society. And this trope is so common that anthropologists actually have a name for it: the relic theory. Relic theory treats sacred groves as survivals, living remnants of prehistoric forests. And this is sometimes woven into an environmentalist ideology that imagines an earlier stage of human history when humans and nature were in perfect balance. And this way of thinking has deep roots. One of its most influential architects was the Scottish anthropologist James Frazer, whose massive and wildly speculative book, The Golden Bough, shaped how generations of scholars and storytellers imagined what he called primitive religion. Frazer stitched together classical texts, colonial-era ethnography, and secondhand travel accounts to sketch a grand evolutionary history of religion and sacred.
Okay, is this because I know that there are a lot of scholars that say that we started out as like animists, believing in like everything, like believing that everything had some sort of soul or animating force, and then that evolved into, I don't remember what they say it was, but and then eventually those spirits would eventually become the gods, and then so on and so forth.
Groves sat at the center of that story. Fraser opens The Golden Bough with the sacred grove of Diana at Nemi in Italy, where, according to ancient Roman sources, a priest-king guarded the forest and ruled only until he himself was killed by a challenger. For Fraser, the grove was a remnant from an ancient world where ritual violence, kingship, fertility, and nature were all bound up together into a single moral system. Fraser helped cement sacred groves as icons of an integrated social, political, and ecological order, a pre-social world before bureaucracy, before capitalism, and before industrial extraction fractured those relationships. And that idea turned out to have real staying power, as environmental movements gained.
Although the difference with fantasy in contrast with real life is that fantasy, they are an objective reality there, and not necessarily just... I don't want to say hearsay, because there are plenty of people that hold genuine meaning and steadfast to those beliefs, but, you know.
In momentum in the late 20th century, sacred groves took on a new appeal, not just for scholars, but for activists, artists, and storytellers. Sacred groves seem to point to an alternative way of relating to nature.
And how do we know these people are legit and they're not just, grifting?
Governed by taboo and moral obligation rather than policy. The anthropologist Michael Sheridan argues that this is why the relic theory still resonates today. Sacred groves function as a kind of moral mirror set up against modern consumption and environmental damage. They suggest a lost world where people once knew how to live properly with the land. And it's exactly the version of sacred groves that modern fantasy inherits. Untouched ancient forests, guarded by spirits, standing in for a better, more coherent past. It's an emotionally powerful image, but it tends to write the role of local communities out of the picture. When scholars actually study sacred groves on the ground, they often do find real ecological differences, just not for the reasons relic theory assumes. For example, let's reconsider those Italian sacred groves I mentioned earlier. Shrine groves there do tend to be more biodiverse than the surrounding landscape, with older trees and a wider variety of plant life. But locals play a huge role in that. Trees are pruned, people let their animals graze there, and locals actively encourage plants used in veterinary medicine to grow there. So these groves flourish not because they've been left alone, but because they've been carefully tended to. Now, increased biodiversity isn't always the outcome, as we'll see in our Japanese case study. But the key point here is that these groves are shaped by human care, not by human absence. It's where religion and community resource management meet. Which brings us to our first case study, sacred groves in Tanzania. Across much of Africa, communities preserve forest patches as ritual sites tied to ancestry and kinship. These groves are especially common in the long transition zone between forest and savanna, stretching from West Africa to South.
The subjective realities are also totally a reality for those who experience it, I guess.
Southern Africa. In the 1800s and early 1900s, European ecologists assumed that these groves were relics, scraps of vast ancient forests that had been slowly destroyed by human settlement. But that assumption actually turned out to be backwards. Research from the 20th century onward showed that many African sacred groves were actually made by people. Communities planted and protected them as they settled in new regions.
Oh, I see. No, I figured that he was gonna go there, that the people intentionally put all of this vegetation here.
In some cases, groves even grew up over former villages, despite local traditions describing them as older than human settlement. In other regions, sites only became sacred much later, sometimes in response to colonial rule. Although often well-meaning and motivated by real concerns for environmental protection, anthropologists like Michael Sheridan have argued that treating these groves as relics makes African societies look static or frozen in time. But in reality, sacred groves grew alongside living communities, shaped by migration, politics, and ritual. And you can see this clearly in Sheridan's research in the North Pare Mountains in Tanzania, where hundreds of groves are scattered across a heavily farmed landscape. There are two main kinds of sacred groves here, mpungi and mshitu. Mpungi are small groves, often an acre or less, tied to a single lineage. Historically, families displayed the skulls of their ancestors in niches around these groves, and you could visit these groves to speak with them.
I'm having trouble commenting on all of this. I might cut some of... If I clip this into its own reaction, I can cut certain parts out.
Because these groves are tied to lineage and ancestors, the trees themselves mark how long a family has occupied that land. In a very literal sense, mpungi roots ancestry in a particular place. This is how long my family has been here. Just look at this grove. Mshitu, by contrast...
Oh, I know. Wait. I was going to connect it to the cult of the ancestors, but I don't really know how to comment on that.
Are much larger and far more powerful. These forests are linked not with one family, but with the ancestors of a ruling clan. Young men are initiated there, and access is tightly controlled. And violations are considered extremely dangerous. According to Sheridan's interviews, performing a curse ritual inside a Mshitu is sometimes described as tantamount to attempted murder. Local tradition often describes these groves as remnants of ancient forests, but historical records and oral history suggest they're much more recent. From around the 13th century onward, clans established ritual sites, sometimes under a single tree, to legitimize their ancestry and political authority. Prohibitions against cutting or disturbing them allowed the vegetation to grow unchecked. And over generations, as families expanded and new ritual sites were formed, these places gradually thickened into patches of dense forest. The result was a landscape of scattered groves, the product of long-term ritual protection and land use patterns. Though because they're protected, they often preserve rare indigenous species and high biodiversity. And because these groves are bound up with land rights and ritual authority, outside intervention has real political consequences. That became clear in the 1990s when the Tanzanian government launched the Tanzania Forestry Action Plan, which gave elders the legal legal authority to fine trespassers. And it actually worked. It strengthened local control and reduced illegal logging. But the
yeah, I'm pretty sure they do the same things with regards to poaching, right?
program also tried to improve conservation by introducing new indigenous tree species into the groves. And that's where things fell apart.
Oh, so now we're getting into invasive species.
From a conservationist perspective, planting more trees sounds great, but think of it through the—
But it depends, because I know, I know that there's what is it, the kudzu plant or something like that is supposed to be an invasive species, because it's not native to— I don't remember the full context of it, but then there are others. There's an example of something like that happening in Australia to control the population of something. But the best example that I can think of is when the Africanized killer bee was created by mixing African honeybee with a European one, and then it created something that was less than ideal. Their mind was that it was supposed to be more effective in producing honey, but the opposite reigned true.
Eyes of the grove caretakers. Planting trees was political. Remember, these groves are bound up with your ancestral right to that land. The skulls of your ancestors are literally in those groves. So when government trees were—
Oh, that's where he's going with it. I thought it was going to mention potential invasive species, but instead it's just typical government intervention.
Introduced, caretakers worried this would ritually transfer control of the grove to the state. And some caretakers actively sabotaged the plans. When Dr. Sheridan interviewed people, they said that if they let those trees take root, then this would actually grant the government cultural authority over the groves. Dr. Sheridan's broader point is that conservation of these groves only works when it aligns with the religious and political systems that already protect them. These forests persist because of shared rules, ritual authority, and long-standing claims to land and ancestry. If you treat them as neutral ecological spaces, you risk weakening the very practices that sustain them in the first place. And this is why Tanzania's sacred groves look so different from their fantasy counterparts. In movies and video games, groves sit outside of society. But here, there's a lot of society going on. Family claims to land, initiation rights, political tension, and negotiations with the state. So here's a challenge to the fantasy genre. Consider weaving in the social side of sacred groves. Who protects them? Who gets access? What rituals are performed there? What happens when someone breaks the—
I mean, with regards to Zelda, you can say that for the Sacred Forest Meadow in Ocarina of Time, you could say that it's the Kokiri that protect it. And considering that within that game, anyone without a fairy who ventures into the Lost Woods either becomes a Skull Kid if you're a kid, or they become a Stalfos if you're an adult, and like I said, only people with fairies can navigate the woods.
Rules and what political or social power flows through that space. Turning now to India for our next case study, which arguably has more sacred groves than anywhere else in the world, over 100,000 by some estimates. But to keep things focused,
India has a crap ton of diversity in terms of its faiths.
Zoom in on Tamil Nadu in southern India, where the scholar of religion Eliza Kent has studied sacred groves known as temple forests or god groves. Some are patches of forest in the middle of grazing land for animals, and others are nestled in the valleys of surrounding hills. Here, sacred groves often aren't obviously demarcated, like with a fence or wall. There might not even be a central image or shrine in the middle of them, but locals know where their boundaries are, and they're expected to take off their shoes or sandals when entering, the same way they would when entering a Hindu temple. At first glance, these groves seem to be a classic example of Durkheim's idea of the sacred, as something set apart. But Dr. Kent shows that this separation is never totalizing. The forest is understood as the deity's home, and even the deity's temple, and the trees are often described as belonging to the god that dwells there. At the same time, though, the grove functions as a kind of collective trust with the locals. Fallen fruit may be gathered and auctioned off, dry branches collected for fuel, and in some cases, roads or power lines even pass through the grove. And yet still, people will say everything here belongs to the god.
Okay, so even the power lines would be considered divine?
So sacred as set apart doesn't necessarily mean untouchable. Many groves in this region are dedicated to so-called fierce deities, gods that are more
like the Majora's Mask fierce deity?
Volatile and impatient, which is precisely why they live in the surrounding forest. This fits into a broader sacred geography. As Dr. Kent writes, calmer deities such as Ganesh are located in the civilized heart of the village, at the center, and the wilder, more fierce deities are located on the margins.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
These forest gods are often modeled on polygars, early modern chieftains who ruled parts of Tamil Nadu between the 16th and 18th centuries. Like those
like when an ancestor figure gets deified in that case.
Chieftains, the gods are territorial, protective, and quick to punish transgression. Their myths are full of weapons, horses, and vengeance. But they aren't outsiders. These gods still belong to the village as guardians. A well-known example—
Divine electrons.
Yes,
let's
appears
go.
in stories as a divine bodyguard, protecting land, enforcing justice, and punishing those who overstep their rights. Sometimes, though, sacred groves groves here don't stay small and local. If a god becomes popular enough, a grove can gradually turn into a temple and even a pilgrimage destination. Dr. Kent traces this process at Putupatu, a grove associated with the god Ayanar. According to tradition, Ayanar was conceived there by Shiva and Mohini, Vishnu in his female form. For a long time, the forest had no buildings at all, and people avoided entering it because the god had a fearsome reputation. Ayanar would strike you with sickness if you accidentally stumbled across his path when he was out hunting, and taboos kept the grove dense and untouched. That changed in the 70s, though, when a government agency overseeing temple administration took control of the site.
Okay, so the government decided, no, he's not, no, this god isn't going to have any control over us.
As Ayanar's reputation spread, the grove attracted more and more visitors, and then more infrastructure. A temple was built, smaller shrines followed.
Or maybe Ayanar is pleased that all of this is happening, and so nobody's getting sick.
And roads were cut through the forest. Today, thousands of pilgrims visit the site each year, and the sheer volume of people and vehicles has taken a toll on the grove's ecology. In her book, Dr. Kent's broader argument is that management matters. When a sacred forest is governed by people who live with it every day, taboos tend to hold. But when it becomes part of a wider pilgrimage network, those restrictions start to weaken. The grove doesn't stop being sacred, but it does stop being dangerous, restricted, and tightly controlled. And this gives us an interesting angle for world building.
I guess it's a double-edged sword in that case.
Builders. In Avatar, the sacred grove of the Tree of Voices is hushed, pristine, and anti-economic. Sacredness is communicated through silence, restraint, and sheer emptiness. Putupatu shows a different path, where pilgrimage turned a forest into a religious economy. And that didn't necessarily make it less sacred to those who worship there. It just changes how...
Let's be real. They were worried about the... Actually, never mind. I'll talk about it another time.
Sacred. Sacred groves don't have to sit forever on one end of a spectrum between untouched nature and spoiled civilization. A grove might begin as a forbidden ground and then slowly become a crowded holy site. This tension between local control and institutional control shows up in our final case study, the Shinto shrine groves of Japan, known as Chinju no Mori. These are forests linked with particular Shinto shrines and believed to be the dwelling places of spirits called kami.
Yeah, the way that I do know quite a bit about how the kami work, and that's the pitch accent. It's ka-mi. It's low then high. Like, basically, there's a kami for everything. There's a kami for a particular mountain. There's one for a particular tree. And I remember, I think Religion for Breakfast made a video saying that George Washington also has a kami.
There are literally thousands of them across Japan, sometimes just a cluster of trees behind a neighborhood shrine, and sometimes they're enormous forests, like Meiji Jinju in Tokyo, which has around 160,000 trees spread over 70 hectares. In recent decades, Shinto institutions have increasingly promoted Shinto as a religion of the forest, and organizations like the National Association of Shrines and the International Shinto Foundation regularly use environmental language to describe Shinto, describing it as a form of ancient nature-centered spirituality.
Because all of nature, like, basically the way that kami work isn't really like how gods and like the Middle East in Europe worked. It's literally just anything that can't be seen. It's more like a spirit than it is a quote-unquote god.
According to the scholar Aika Rhodes, shrine forests have become one of Shinto's core topics in contemporary conversations about Shinto, and the main shrine organization Jinja Honsho often highlights shrine groves as symbols of harmony between humans, nature, and the divine. Here again, we see the relic theory at work. Shrine groves are frequently described as untouched primeval forests, survivals from a mythic past. One Japanese writer describes them as the remnants of forests that have remained from the ancient age of myths until the present time.
No, look at that water. That water is pristine. I'd drink out of that without having to boil it.
And they're also assumed to be especially biodiverse and models of ecological balance. But in his research, Dr. Rhodes shows that this image doesn't hold up very well. Many of these groves were planted in the Edo period at the earliest, starting in the 1600s.
Okay, I see.
And others even more recently in the 19th and 20th centuries. For example, the shrine groves surrounding Ise Grand Shrine and Meiji Jinju date back to the 1920s.
Okay, so this is kind of like an inversion of the trope. I mean, I know that's how the ones in Tanzania were described, where like the people that were migrating there would purposefully plant the trees and stuff as markers of their families.
The area around the Meiji Shrine Forest looked like before it was planted. And compared to other urban green spaces like parks or riverbanks, shrine groves often have less biodiversity. Studies have found that shrine forests often have nutrient-poor soil, limited sunlight at ground level, and relatively few plant species.
So they have to really be maintained for them to be able to, for all the vegetation to grow.
Part of the reason is maintenance. Shrine grounds are regularly swept and tidied. A practice that obviously is meant to show respect and cleanliness, but also disrupts soil ecology and makes it harder for undergrowth to thrive.
Oh, so that's how it gets. Okay, so you're sweeping up all of the essential nutrients that the plants need.
Another issue has to do with the trees. Much of Japan naturally supports broadleaf forests, either deciduous forest in the cooler north or evergreen laurel forest in the warmer south. But many shrine groves today are dominated by coniferous trees like cedar, cypress, and pine. These were often planted at the earliest in the late Edo period, and by now they're tall, dark, and imposing. For many visitors and for many Shinto priests, this is what a sacred forest is supposed to look like.
Okay, so they have a So because of what happened within that specific period, they have a preconceived notion that this is what it's supposed to look like.
Ecologically, though, these trees block sunlight and limit the growth of shrubs, grasses, and other plants.
Okay, I see.
The result is a forest that feels ancient and mysterious, but is actually quite recent and supporting relatively little diversity. That's why ecologists like Miyawaki Akira have long argued that shrine forests should be replanted with indigenous broadleaf trees.
Oh, so what kind of trees did they plant with in that case? Were they like from other... Are they even... I was going to say, are they from other parts of Japan? But I don't know where this shrine is located, but like there's shrines all over Japan. Would they want to replant with more local plants?
But this has sparked real...
I apologize if that didn't make any grammatical sense.
Conflict. When Miyawaki worked on replanting shrine forests damaged by the 2011 tsunami, some local shrine members withdrew from the project. They wanted to restore the pines and cypresses that they remembered from childhood. For that...
Oh, okay.
And those trees were the sacred forest. So basically different
Okay, so so now they're just being picky.
Holders held different ideas about what counted as sacred nature. Environmental activists like Miyawaki were more concerned with biodiversity, while Shinto priests often prioritized appearance, order, and ritual cleanliness. This brings us back to the theme that's been running through this entire video. Sacred groves aren't windows into an untouched prehistory. They're mirrors of human society. In Japan, shrine forests have become sites where tradition, aesthetics, national identity, and environmental responsibility all collide. Dr. Rhodes is especially skeptical of claims that shrine groves represent some sort of deep grassroots environmentalism. While these forests have become central to Shinto's green public image, there's little evidence that major Shinto institutions are engaged with broader environmental issues, like climate change, habitat loss, or industrial pollution. In fact, critics sometimes describe this focus on shrine groves...
Oh, and then of course there's a mascot costume that's about as commercialized as it could... Sorry, I burped. That's about as commercialized as can be.
As merely cosmetic, environmental branding without much structural engagement. But he argues cosmetic...
No, that's the thing. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are more genuine in their, like, not necessarily convictions, but then you have some that are just doing it for show.
It doesn't mean meaningless. Shrine forests have proven remarkably effective at bringing together unlikely allies. So for you novelists and game designers, this opens up possibilities you've almost never seen
let's
in fantasy.
go. Let's get a Zelda game where it's just like this.
Sacred groves can be contested spaces. One group sees the forest as ancient, orderly, and ritually pure. Another sees it as ecologically impoverished and in need of intervention. So across the world, sacred groves look wildly different. You have feng shui forests in southern China, Catholic saint groves in central Italy, and fierce deity groves in rural Tamil Nadu. Some are lineage shrines tied to ancestors, others are home for volatile guardian gods. Others still are carefully curated shrine forests in the middle of a modern city. But a few patterns run through all of them. Sacred groves are landscapes shaped by society. In other words, these examples show that sacred groves are protected because people collectively choose to protect them. That same idea is why I joined Planet Wild. It's exactly what Planet Wild is built around.
Okay, I'm guessing this is a little thing that he's promoting. Alright, that was informative. I could have talked too much about some of the ones in the middle. Like, if I clip this as its own video, I'll definitely cut some parts out so that I'm at least trying to be transformative. But that was a good video. Thank you for that. It is 3:56 right now. We definitely got time for one more video. I said that, I mean, I had like 2 other videos that I wanted to look at. I'm kind of hesitant to look at this one video by this. I've been hesitant to look at this one particular YouTube channel. I might look at them some other time. But I actually want to learn why, here, I have it. God damn it. No, I try to click on my avatar and I end up clicking on the background. We have this language simp video about why he doesn't like learning Spanish. And hopefully Rhodey is still in the chat. Maybe he can give some 2 cents. But as someone who is more or less Spanish, I can't really speak too much because I don't really know anything outside of what you learn in Dora the Explorer. But yeah, you gotta get ready for bed. Alright, yeah, this will be the last video that we look at anyway, so let me go ahead. Not even 2 seconds in, and it's already off the rails. So let's go ahead and check out why Language Simp hates learning Español. Sí, aquí estoy. Alright, let's go.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. Para los que no me conocen, yo soy Language Simp.
Hold on, let me make sure that the speed is... Here, I want to put it back to normal, because it's only 7.5 minutes. He's from Estados Unidos.
Soy de los United States.
United States, not Estados Unidos, but United States. Good night, Brett.
y llevo años estudiando español. Hoy voy.
Well, which variety of Spanish are we talking about? Because I know that in Chile, instead of saying hasta luego, they say hasta lo. Where luego just becomes lo. Which, by the way, is strikingly reminiscent of why the French word for water is just eau, even though every other language is just a variation of aqua.
Voy a hablar sobre por qué odio el idioma español. Escucha, obviamente me encanta
He loves the language, but he doesn't love learning it,
este
apparently.
idioma, pero al mismo tiempo, learning it is extremely frustrating.
I don't know. Yeah, I know it's easy to pronounce, but...
Flashback a few years. I was fluent in French and I was at the tail
Okay, and then... Is that...
end of a 6-month bender of torture grinding Russian for
Okay,
3
that is Russian. Let me see. Pabota. Panya. Or Banya. Kniga. Linea. Okay, you know what? I don't have time to read all of that.
hours a day when I had a realization.
Wow, c'était vraiment une perte de temps. Пустая трата времени, блин. What am I gonna do with these? I live in America.
I live in America. Yeah, we eat eagles and shit freedom.
I'd be lucky if I maybe found one French or Russian speaker a month at Walmart, but
Всем привет. Это Пискун.
America is the country with the second most Spanish speakers in the universe. More people
Oh, yeah.
speak it here than they do in Spain.
Yeah, the irony in that.
I quit Russian and I dedicated my life to learning Spanish.
Your life, huh?
Языковой симп. Мне очень грустно. Sorry, Vladdy Daddy.
But
Yeah, too bad, Vlad. We got Espanol. We don't need Rosia or Ruski.
I encountered a problem. There are way too many brands of Spanish spoken in a million different countries. So,
Right.
so which will I choose to learn?
Well, as someone who's half Mexican, I would obviously learn Mexican Spanish.
They're all speaking Spanish at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter. They can't be that different.
Well, I just gave an example of why Chilean Spanish is very particular about its pronunciations.
Right? Right? For a normal person, this decision would be easy, but I have a toxic obsession with sounding native.
Yeah, yeah. You can see how coming from those very different languages. Romance language is hard. I mean, if you already know at least one Romance language, the others are relatively easy. Like it just depends on your native language and its relationship to others.
Like when people
Pretty sure he's native French.
mistake me for a native speaker. I want to blend in. That's my goal.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like when it comes to languages, I would like to learn more languages, but I just don't feel like it, you know? I'm too lazy for my own good because I have other things that I would much rather be doing. But I am very good. I do have an ear for pronouncing languages. Like you give me a sentence in a language, and if I know its basic phonology, I could probably pronounce it with like maybe 80% accuracy. Because as someone who used to sing in choir, I'm very musically tuned, so I'd be able to understand. If you came from learning Italian or Portuguese, it would have been a bit gentler of a learning experience, I'm sure. Because I know that, yeah, there's more similarities between them as well. Although, in terms of Portuguese, it might depend on the type, because I know that Metatron, who is a native Italian speaker, has an easier time understanding Brazilian Portuguese than he does European Portuguese. And then if you know Paul Barbado of Geography Now, he was told that European Portuguese sounds like a drunk Russian trying to speak Spanish.
So I chose Spanish.
Because European Portuguese has an unusual amount of similarities in its phonology to Russian.
From Spain. The lisp sounded elegant to me. The extra pretentious pronouns were
Vosotros.
cool, and the S's hiss like.
Yes, it's a retracted S. In Spain, it's not. I was gonna say Basco. It's not Basco. It's Basco. God damn it, no. Now I'm overthinking it. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the retracted S, which, by the way, is a feature that was inherited from Latin.
Like a snake. And most importantly,
Yes, sotros. vosotros with the s sound. It's in between a s and a sh.
Could maybe convince people here in America that I'm really from Spain. Mexican Americans probably aren't familiar enough with the accent to notice minor mistakes. Spain is really far away, and
Yes, you had to do it from that direction.
and a DNA test told me I'm 100% European.
Northwestern European. Oh, I did it right, vosotros. I mean, it depends, like, yeah. But then again, in Spain, at least in north and central Spain, the letters, the soft C and the letter Z, or zeta, is pronounced like a TH. Basco, yeah. Well, I meant, yeah. Oh, no, the language I was thinking of is Basque, which I'm pretty sure is forest or woods, correct? But, yeah. Where was I going with what I was saying? God damn it. Oh yeah, the how you say it, like, you don't say cinco in Spain, you say cinco. And you don't say zorro in Spain, you say zorro. But it's mostly in north and central Spain. Southern Spain, because it's Andalusia, obviously it would have more of an Arabic type feel to it.
And I get it, this is deeply problematic. I know there
What's
are white people
problematic?
all over the place in Latin America. But if my
Yeah.
German-American ass told you that I'm from Peru, would you...
You're not Peruvian, I can tell.
Would you believe me? No. But if I told you I was from Spain?
Probably.
Still no, but maybe.
No.
Maybe. And holy taco, is this language easy in the beginning.
Ole taco. Oh, Spanish is so easy. You just gotta take English words and add O's to them. Perfect? Perfecto. Exact? Exacto. I don't think exacto is a word in Spanish. Correct me if I'm wrong, but... I mean, that has mostly to do with the fact that English has a lot of Romance vocabulary in it. Like 60% is Romance derived, and that's because French-speaking Vikings invaded England and conquered it.
Spanish was basically just a heterosexual version of French without all the moaning and snorting. And
Didn't you? No, that's false advertising. You said that Italian was heterosexual French. God damn it. Exacto. You see, no, in the Lego movie, it's give me the sword of exact zero. That's how you say it. It's not exacto or exacto. It's exact zero or exact cero. No, actually, I said that wrong. No, it's one R, so therefore it's a flap, not a trill. God damn it.
it would have been even easier
I'm a traitor to half of my people.
if I had known the best method to learn a language described in the Hyperpolyglot Handbook.
Yes, we have the Hyperpolyglot Handbook.
Available for purchase at languagesim.com. I got good at Spanish fast. I wasn't perfect, but I was having meaningful conversations all the time on Discord. So
I
one
wish I
day
could.
after building up my confidence, I decided now
I don't know. I don't really know that much Spanish, let's be real.
the time to try speaking Spanish in real life. I was working as an engineer and my Puerto Rican
Yeah, so wait, if he wants to sound native, I mean, yeah, I think that's what he was mentioning in the beginning. The fact that there are different types of Spanish.
coworker had to give me a 10-minute ride to a job site. So I said to myself, okay, Josh, this is what you've been practicing for. Tell him you speak Spanish.
Come on, Jose.
So I
Wait,
said,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, Jose, yeah.
¿Tú sabías que yo hablo español?
And he
Okay, that's the Spanish from Spain variety. I can tell by the retracted S.
turned to me and said,
Oh, sí?
No. You see, that one restaurant that Joe Swanson from Family Guy and his cop buddies used to go to got a little Puerto Rican-y because Jennifer Lopez, who likes tacos and burritos, was there, and she don't come from no Mexico, she Puerto Rican. I used to have a coworker who was Puerto Rican.
I froze. My heart skipped a beat. I panicked.
And I know Iron Mouse is from Puerto Rico as well.
No sabo, no entender nada.
No entender nada.
And switching to English, he said 6 words that I'll never forget.
You'll get there one day, buddy.
Yeah, let's go.
What do you mean I'll get there one day, buddy? You're not speaking Spanish. I just debated philosophy with a guy from Madrid last night on Discord.
Oh, is that so? Oh, like when, oh, I know what he's getting at. Like when you choke at something. Like when you know the material, but then you're a very stressed out test taker, and so you get all the answers wrong. No, I was going to say, no, when, like, someone is, like, if you go to Japan, and then you try to speak Japanese to, like, in a restaurant, and then they notice that you're a foreigner, and they speak English to you anyway, which is becoming more, like, it's become more, like, increasingly common in Japan for, like, people, like, within, like, Tokyo to know English, just so that I mean, granted, it is still a good idea to know at least some Japanese, but, you know, yeah, Iron Mouse is Puerto Rican.
I'm already there! It turns out all Spanishes are not created equally.
Yes.
I figured that since it literally came from Spain,
that only the Spanish from Spain would count, huh?
learning Spanish would allow me to understand all other types of Spanish.
It's not going to help. I already mentioned Chilean Spanish twice, and this is the third time, so I don't think I need to repeat it again.
But no. Puerto Ricans speak another language entirely.
It's
it's related to Spanish, but
this also applies to freaking Arabic. Like, they swear that it's all Arabic, but a person from Morocco is not going to understand a person from Iraq unless they're speaking the standard variety. And then the exact opposite of that is like when you say that Croatian and Serbian are two separate languages, even though they sound exactly alike. Because the truth of the matter is, a language is really just a dialect with a military, and that's basically how it's always been.
I couldn't understand it at all. And they've got completely different slang. Why do you call an orange China?
They call it a China, it's a China.
This is China, and
it calls the whole continent of Asia China. I need to watch more of his videos. I just watched them secondhand from Metatron, but oh my god.
It doesn't help that they speak at the speed of light.
Sometimes you don't understand Chilean in your native Spanish. I mean, you could say the same thing about English. Some English speakers, like Metatron's father-in-law, speaks with such a heavy accent that he can't understand. And then there's Boomhauer, who's like, talk like dangle. Oh, boy, I tell you what, man, I talk like dangle, you can learn Spanish and like, hasta luego, and they'll be like, hasta luego, and all that.
Light. And if you've studied physics, you know that nothing can go faster than the speed of light. But
Yeah.
somehow, Chilean Spanish
Only in Chile can you speak faster than light. Hasta luego.
exceeds this universal speed limit. Then Cubans don't even speak. They remove so many letters, but still somehow understand one another.
Oh no.
I wouldn't be
they speak in communist Spanish.
surprised if they reduced the word español all the way down to pañol.
Español. Well, it'd be español. Well, something that happens in certain dialects is that the letter S, especially if it's before another consonant, gets softened to an H, which I had mentioned earlier with like the Chilean. Instead of hasta, they say hasta. And this is actually something that happened in both ancient Greek as well as ancient Iranian languages as well, where the S sound just becomes an H. And it's the reason why the Latin word for six is six, but the ancient Greek word for six is hex, because that H used to be an S, and then it softened. But then in ancient Greek, the H sound gradually disappeared, so it's redundant at that point. And that's something else that also happens in languages where H sounds just straight up disappear. And Romance languages are notorious for that, at least, well, except for Romanian, because of Slavic influence. There, the H sound was pretty much preserved. And then obviously in Spanish, the H sound ended up getting replaced with the J, because that used to be a Y. And then in many languages that becomes a J, which is actually what happened to the double L and the Y in Argentinian Spanish, where pollo becomes pollo, because that's just something that happens. That's just something that happens in languages all over the world, where sounds just, either they turn into other sounds, or they just gradually fade out. And France is notorious for losing all of its sounds. Like with French, you think, how exactly does aqua just become eau? Here's the step-by-step. Aqua, the qua becomes a gua, just like it is in Spanish. But then that gua becomes softened to a r. where it's agua, and then it just becomes agua, and then eu, and then just o. Posha, posha, posha. Yes. And this same phenomenon happens in various varieties of Spanish, such as Chilean, where luego, well, I mean, obviously, if you're like an American trying to speak it, you'd say luego with a hard g, but it's not technically a g. Because it's in between two vowels, it's a soft g. It's kind of hard to hear. It's like a mix between a G and an H. But obviously, in Chilean Spanish, it just becomes one single O. And that's how French happened. I apologize if that sounded confusing, but trust me, that's just how it works.
That sounds oddly Korean. 안녕하십니까 동무들. And every single country has their quirks and their unique slang, and it kind of feels like Arabic, where Iraqis struggle to understand Moroccans.
Yes, I made this comparison exactly.
Even though they both technically are speaking the same language.
We swear it's all Arabic. We swear...
Wish
yes.
someone had told me that Spanish was like this. I thought I'd comprehend everything. The freaking government calls it a level 1 language.
It's a level 1 language. Made sense to you, yeah. I mean, for some people, it could be hard to keep track of, but trust me, I spent like a lot of middle school and high school just browsing phonetics and phonology related Wikipedia articles, and it gave me an unnecessary amount of linguistics knowledge that for me it's fascinating, but for some people it might be confusing, especially when language families are involved.
Which, for God's sake, whatever that means. At least Mexicans speak clearly, but my RNG is so bad.
Well, it kind of depends.
Most times when I approach someone who speaks Spanish, they're from some random small Latin American country. And if I do find a Mexican, all they do is make fun of me.
I bet.
Oh, qué padre, un gringo que habla español. Gracias, pero no soy gringo.
Gracias, yes. The Spanish from Spain
Obvia fácilmente con este acento. O sea,
acento.
Soy de España, de Barcelona.
Barcelona. They speak Catalan there.
O sea, tú hablas español con
Okay, I get it, so...
tu acento de España.
No, you don't say cerveza in Spain. You say cerveza. Is how you say cerveza in Spain.
Do it with the S's. It's just the C's and the Z's that turn into the th. Why do they always do that? Th. And if I
I could say it's complicated, but it's not that complicated.
had $1 for every time that a Mexican called me Cristobal Colon, I'd have enough money to colonize the Milky Way. But to reverse the
I'm sure.
injustices of the past, I'm teaching the aliens Aztec Nahuatl.
You said it, Nahuatl.
Not Spanish. But the worst possible situation for me is when I encounter a unicorn, a real live Spaniard traveling in the United States.
Okay.
Hello, I am from Spain.
From Spain. So, Peggy Eel, tell the judge in your own words, in your own Spanish words, what happened. Yeah, if you learned Spanish from Spain, you'd be invoked. Yes. If I had a heart, this would be where I die of laughter.
Remember, I would do anything to come off as native. This is the crucial moment, the moment I've been preparing for a long time. So the 2 brain cells I still have
Let's go.
after studying Russian
We got a Stan Marsh-esque looking mask here.
grammar kick into overdrive.
Oh, hell no.
What will we do? What will we do? He's gonna clock us. He'll know we're not from Spain.
We could say we're Argentinian from Buenos Aires.
Aires.
We don't know how to do that accent.
We could say we're from
Just turn all your double L's and Y's into SH's and you should be good.
Andalusia or the Canary Islands or some small town in Spain.
The Canary Islands has that whistle language.
No, he's
Or am I thinking of a different set?
from Spain. He's gonna know.
Eureka! I have it! Equatorial Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea of all places. I don't know what kind of Spanish they speak down there.
Equatorial whaty?
That's in Africa.
It's a Spanish-speaking country in West Africa.
Yeah.
It's so petite and far away. No one's gonna know what they sound like. It's
Okay.
gonna work. Let's do it.
Yo soy de Equatorial Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea. Or Guinea.
¿En serio? Mi mujer es de ahí, María.
Mujeres. You see, me and mi familia, we don't have much, but we'd give everything we have to the employees of BET. Because BET stands for Black Evil Television, and they don't make shit there except for the top executives.
¿Qué quieres, mi amor?
¿Qué quieres?
Este hombre es de tu país.
That's Galaxy Brain.
Scheisse.
Scheisse, yes.
¿Estás seguro de que eres de Guinea Equatorial?
Guinea.
No. The truth is, eu sou brasileiro, mas eu não sou
Brasileiro.
bonito. Eu sou, tipo, muito feio. Eu amo a língua espanhola. Tem muitos sotaques lindos e pessoas incríveis que falam espanhol. Eu sou... Não
Guinea Equatorial.
queria parecer um gringo idiota. Desculpa. Juro pelo Bolsonaro que não vou mentir de novo.
Okay.
Well, we don't know what you said, but...
Oh, man.
You...
Well, Language Simp calls Portuguese spicy Spanish, so I don't know.
sound like a stupid gringo.
Okay, so that's the intro video.
In conclusion, I clearly have a long way to go with my Spanish learning journey. But
Yeah, do you really need to learn I'm sure, I mean, I don't know how, like, the medias work within various Spanish-speaking countries, especially when they have those heavy accents, but...
really, who cares if you
I
have
don't
an
know.
accent or you're foreign, or even if you sound like a stupid gringo? You're cool for learning their language, and if anyone judges you for that, they're the loser. Once I realized that, I stopped caring what I sound like in all of my languages. As long as people understand you, alles clean in Berlin. So в порядке. Tudo jóia.
Yes, normal Danish.
If you want to learn the...
Alright, that was fun. No, I went off on a diatribe there. Fishing mailed. Yes, I went on a diatribe there. That was crazy. And then we have another video that says, learn Portuguese, not Spanish. Well, I don't know if I have Portuguese ancestry. I doubt it. But, yeah, I think... yeah, that was hilarious. No, I had a lot of fun with that. We definitely need to look at more of these kinds of videos. But, it's 4:19, which means I'm probably going to finish up for the night. I need to check to see if it's still snowing, because I need to know whether or not I need to wake up early tomorrow. Hopefully. Everything should be fine. Yeah, we got through the 3 videos that I wanted to look at, and I'm glad we looked at this one. I'm definitely clipping this. So, yeah, let's go, everybody. Let's up those numbers. But let me do some... All right, everything looks fine. Okay, well, the stream started out very, very peculiar. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. We don't really have time to look at all of the J mail stuff. I mean, maybe on Wednesday we could spend like some of the stream doing that. I don't know. It kind of depends. I've been meaning to want to do more quote-unquote dramatic readings of stuff like that. Like way back when I first started streaming, we looked at those old Sears catalogs. I had a lot of fun with that. We need to do more stuff like that that's more freeform. But I just like having structured stuff. You know, you didn't say a word at all. No worries. I don't mind lurkers as long as I have everyone is welcome, so long as you're not doing anything obscene. Let's just leave it at that. So there's no need to worry, Pinnacle. You're all good. But anyone have any last minute things that they'd like to say? I will be back Monday where we will be continuing Tales Noir. I've been thinking about it all day. Because I'm excited to continue on with it. I guess that's the right attitude. New Mexicans wouldn't mind if someone's trying to learn the language, but trying to pass as a native is just... Yeah, I'm probably laughter. Oh, did you? I haven't really looked at the group chat for a while. Let me check it. I apologize. I think it might be better if you DM'd me instead, since I honestly haven't been making good use of it. Let me open it up and see what you recommended. No, not like that. Oh, and I got a great stream last night message. Oh, Fugly's left a nice message. Aw. Okay, I don't know if he's still here, though. But he said he liked the stream. He liked last night's stream, and he liked my voice acting the next step. I'm so glad. Let's see. Oh, Mario and Luigi versus Sephiroth. And, wait. Other ways to beat Minecraft? I'm sure there is. Yeah, I think it would be best if you DM'd me. Yeah, that eventually messages in the group chat get removed. Yeah. It's not that I don't want to use it, it's that I don't have the motivation. It's like, what would I do with it? I'm not a very proactive guy when it comes to that kind of thing, but, you know. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't really mind it that much, but I beat Minecraft as a fish and it was insanely hard. I could probably write these down, honestly, and we could look at them on Wednesday. It's not this one, it's this one. Okay. I beat Minecraft as a fish, and then Mario and Luigi versus Sephiroth. Those honestly do sound kind of entertaining. You know what? I don't care about the spelling. But I'm glad that Fugly enjoyed my voice acting last night, and I will continue to do more of that voice acting on Monday night, where we will continue playing the game. I've been really enjoying it, and I've been thinking about it all day at work, and I'm like, oh man, no, I can't wait. I can't wait. I might actually start the stream, like, extra early, if that's the case, because I want to have as much time as I can. Oh my god. Like, I guess 12:30 Monday, well, technically it would be Tuesday at that point, but like 12:30 at the earliest Eastern Standard Time and 12:45 at the latest, I guess. But I guess it depends on how I'm feeling, if I just want to get my rest or whatever. But let's see. Yeah, but if you do have video recommendations, Raccoon Noir, yes, the black raccoon. Well, no, I was about to say Mapache Negro, but you know, the word negro has less than ideal connotations in English, but it is what it is. So, thank you all so much for watching. I gotta get to bed so I can get up early, and I'll see you guys on Monday for our continuation of Blackened Tales. Take care.